happy Friday, good morning, good afternoon. It's afternoon. Oh my God, it's afternoon. I've been up since like 6 a.m. Um, so things are a little sleepy this morning for me. I also didn't turn on my background lights, so or other lights, so I only have my like ring light on. So if lighting looks a little interesting, that would be why. That and I thought it'd be a good idea to maybe try having my thing back up to get my camera to like not focus on the couch because for some reason it does that and it like gets really fuzzy. So I'm hoping this will help the camera focus. If it really annoys people, I'll just move it. But I kind of like it. I put my like Halloween stuff up too high, so that is up a lot higher. I guess I should have known that my camera doesn't sit that high, so like of course you guys couldn't see that stuff. But here we are. I'm not going to bother moving it now. It's kind of a pain to get it all secured on that thing without breaking it. Also, I need it high enough because my cats will go for that stuff, primarily Cetra, and I don't want Cetra getting into that stuff. But yeah, so I don't know why or what put me in this mood. I'm assuming it's because I was up at 6 a.m. and so I'm really tired because I'm not used to being up so early. And so I don't know, I just feel like I'm menting the mood to like tackle some things I've had questions about, part of which is like I've never really, other than like one video which I didn't even make it halfway and I skipped around a bunch even then, because like someone recommended it because they said they covered that YouTuber uh talked about my mom's episodes, so I kind of wanted to, like, after my video came out someone said they did it, but I never didn't even find, I mean, I didn't look very hard, but like I didn't see it. But like I was like, okay, well, let's do two things. I don't know if they'll be fun for other people, but I'm fucking curious. I want to see how like more normal people, normal, because I don't know if anyone's actually normal, but people who've not like experienced hoarding, I'm assuming they haven't unless they talk about it, have never grew up in or experienced someone who is hoarded. I'm kind of curious how they react to stuff because, like, from a lot of, at least from children of hoarders, a lot of people don't seem to understand the situation, even if they're like some people try to, and they're like, I don't mean to be insensitive, which is code word for they're about to be insensitive for the most part. It's just like, yeah, they're just like, why did your mom do these things, or how come it got so bad, why didn't you constantly clean? I'm like, well, because I was a child, first of all. And as a child you don't get a lot of say in situations and you're more focused on survival. Also because children of hoarders a lot of times are not able to clean, and it's not that we physically can't, it's that we're not allowed to because there are consequences for doing that. And I would clean when I just got extremely fed up and my mom would be at work for like a much longer period of time. Anytime she had a long shift is when I would try to clean up. um but yeah, it's just, I don't know other people's experience, but like when trying to clean stuff like that too, it like I feel like it releases even more fumes because there were times where I would just make it like just pass right out while cleaning. So that's great, right? Who is messaging? Okay, nothing important. But yeah, so that's what, and then also to like lighten the mood, we're also gonna be, I discovered a new channel on YouTube called Zoo Tours, and I've been watching that because they like to go through zoos across the country. And that's really exciting because I love zoos and museums and like sideshow attractions and theme parks and stuff. I love watching people cover that kind of content. It's one of my favorite contents to watch besides ASMR. So I figure we look into that a little bit too, because I found someone who, like, I don't know, their camera quality is really good. The way they present it's really good. They do fundraisers and stuff. So, and they present, like, they give a lot of good like information. So without further ado, we're gonna get started. We're gonna get my sleepy self's like, um, I was honestly like, am I too tired? But I feel like I'll wake up as like the day goes on with more water. And because I would really like to go to a place today that's having like its grand opening. It's a Halloween thing, and I don't know. We'll see if I make it over there because it's a Friday. It's a Friday, and I feel like it's gonna be insanely packed. Can you put my mic a wee bit? I didn't have desktop audio on. That shouldn't have mattered because I wasn't playing any music. So, but yeah, with can you guys not see the window capture? Okay, there we go. If you hear creaking, my dog is just moving around precariously between my chair and this thing, which there's not much space, but she's doing it. She's gonna like knock it over and it's gonna fall on my head. It's not heavy at all. It's extremely light, so there's that. It will be jarring for sure if she does that, etc. I guess they're all coming in here now. All my animals. Can you stop opening the window, miss? You'll see my cat, etc. Yep, there he is. I actually ordered the other day so I don't have to wear these all the time because sometimes like hurt my head. I got ones. I have Bluetooth earphones now. They're not as good sound quality, obviously, but I had to order a little Bluetooth dongle so that way they can connect to my computer because I don't have built-in Bluetooth. I'm really excited about that possibility because then I can move. I have so much more room. I can do my hair in cute styles instead of just giving up because a headset will just flatten my hair. I could do cute hairstyles again. That'll be nice. But yeah, so I know there's this one. I know, so I'm pretty sure that's the Cinnamon Toast Ken is the person, like someone in those comments it was the person who recommended like, yeah, you should watch him. I'm kind of also curious how they do their editing. And normally, like, I've seen some people have issues with my editing, but to be fair, it was my very first time using DaVinci Resolve for editing, and also my video wasn't almost like 56 minutes long originally, and I had to cut it to be able to fit YouTube because not only is that really long, but YouTube has a problem with you have to mute certain scenes too. So I had to keep editing until I was like, you don't have to worry about copyright. But then also like there are certain scenes that like I muted, and so you see my reaction, but I'm voiceovering stuff because you can't have those sections for some reason with sound because YouTube has a big problem with it. I don't know. Stuff's weird. I'd be curious about how some of these much bigger YouTubers get through some of this stuff. Like, how do they also have to deal with like copyright issues all the time just for showing small segments? I mean, some of these are like longer videos because I just like that's an hour long. I feel like she probably still doesn't show much of the episode, right? She probably just talks a lot or mutes a good portion of it. And I see keeps always like it's like always the world's worst hoarder, but for the most part, I see this woman's face. Well, I don't want to hover, but her face in the thumbnail for a lot of people who talk about hoarding. Sir, what are you doing? My cat is being destructive as soon as he comes in here. You can't even see him because he's hiding. Hold on, let me just sir, do I need to move? Do I need to move the wall so I can get a better look at you? Yeah, he knows he's being naughty. He knows he's being naughty and he doesn't care. I don't know. No, you can't really do anything. Cats will do what they want to do, but I just don't want him chewing. I already took down a bunch of stuff on the background because he won't leave it alone. And now he's going for the only thing up there, which is lights. It's just a plain wall now. It's kind of boring. I have one picture up there, which is also why I have this up, because there's nothing now. There's just a couple stuffed animals on my couch. You gonna be a good boy, Cetra? Last stream, he actually took down the bells and the icicles and stuff. He actually took stuff down. I believe his last stream, it was on him, and just like, oh my god. You know, there are worse things for him to do. Without further ado, actually, I'm really curious. Is Dr. Elliot like an MD, like medical doctor, or is he a psychologist? I don't actually know. Psychiatrist. Okay. So, assuming, I don't know, it's we should probably make this full screen. Now, I'm assuming because Hoarders content, yeah, he definitely doesn't show all of it. There's no way he does in 22 minutes, especially with as much as he's talking. Hi, it's been a while, King Kratos. Hello. It's been a while. Sorry if you see my cat in the background. I moved this out of the way even more so I can see if he's naughty or not, because I'm worried he's going to be, and I don't want to have to wrench my head around every single time. I can just look in the camera and be like, bad. To see if I need to like get him out of the room. I have so much stuff in here for him, not just the cat tree, by the way. It has a couple different like scratching posts, and including in the hallway, and here he is being, oh, what, you better not be. No, don't jump on it. This is not a scratching post. He gets bit up before. I don't know why he's doing. He's
pulling his cock out.
no, he's not. No. He just jumped and he's behind this little thing, this room divider, and he's on the couch and he just screamed, and I feel like that's a scream of he's gonna launch himself at it and it's going to fall and break. I don't know where you are and it makes me nervous. You should get in your pumpkin. Are you being naughty? Can you move? There. He's just sitting there waiting to be an agent in chaos. He wants to be chaotic with his beans. I'm gonna I have my heating blanket on to keep me warm. How are you been dealing with some stuff? I'm sorry. I don't know what is that supposed to be see how long you've been doing it? I don't have followage. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of things. I am excited next week. I have to figure out. I might play Fallout New Vegas on my anniversary stream, and I know like the stream before that I'm gonna be doing like a dancing stream that I'm gonna be learning to dance. I'm not much of a dancer. We'll see also because my like I have had some subluxations in my like upper leg and hip area, so we'll see how well that goes. It'll probably be fine.
My name is Shanna.
Why is this? Hold up. Oh, it is. He just has the volume that low? Do you have the volume? Yeah, it's always her. It's maybe because she's the poop lady, but that's because I remember like Papa Me, who's one of my favorite YouTubers, she was one of the episodes he looked at was this one. Two fish swam into a concrete wall and one says Yup.
And I'm on disability. I can
Barely
definitely handle dirt. I don't have a problem with that.
She's on. Is this really?
Hoarders is a show all about people
Okay.
who hoard stuff.
Weird, because I have this all the way turned. So his volume is okay. It's a little low, but he has that turned way down.
Hoarding disorder is real and has a complex interface with other mental illnesses like OCD and depression, and quite a diverse risk profile. Clips from this episode came up on social media for me recently, so I thought I'd delve into the episode in full. We're going to use this to learn all about this condition of hoarding disorder, but we're going to watch this with kindness and compassion, not with voyeurism. Warning though, there can be some graphic content about sort of various types of contamination, but I've tried to limit some of...
I would assume you would blur it out, like... It seems like something you would want to do, but
that aspect
I guess anything.
It's not really necessary to talk about the mental illness side, and at the end of the day, it's the reality of this condition. I think we're going to learn a lot on this one. So ready? Let's crack on. So compulsive.
I didn't check. I don't know if he specializes in. He's obvious. So he's a psychiatrist. So I'm assuming he knows quite a bit about hoarding, but I'm not sure. I've never heard of him on it. But yeah, mental disorder marked by an obsessive need to acquire and keep things. But a lot of people always think, like, even from like the comments, a lot of people still don't understand hoarding. It's not so no, it doesn't have to be sentimental items. It's sentimental items is a weird word because like people will hoard trash because like my mother, because it makes them feel comfortable, gives them some sense of safety and control, which is why they bring in trash. Also because she still is under the poverty line and grew up extremely poor. Trash is very easy to acquire as opposed to going out and buying things. When you can't buy things and you seek to have that fulfillment in your brain and you bring it home, then you bring home trash, and it's a way to just collect things to make you feel like you have some semblance of control in your life. But yeah, it doesn't matter because like they can be unsanitary. I mean, people who've seen my mom's episode know they were unsanitary and hazardous and terrible. But I also know like some people are like, why didn't you clean? I was like, keep in mind when they filmed that episode, I had already been moved out for a little while and I was in college. So I wasn't living there at the time, so I had taken over my room. I kept my room, at least when the episode was filmed, like when I lived in that place, my room was the only clean room in the house, and the rest of it was like trash. But even then, like that hoard besides her car was I dread to see her car. That hoard was really mild compared to some of the other places my mom had hoarded. So it really, they took my mom's case because it was unique, because one, she hoarded trash, but also they didn't show some things. I asked them not to, but I don't think they asked that here with this lady who like hoarded poop and stuff. I don't think anyone advocated for her for like what to show and what not to show, because I did that for my mom, and I asked them for the most part not. They only showed like 2 seconds of her bedroom for good reason, because there's a lot of stuff in there that couldn't be filmed or I felt was really inappropriate to film. So I kept them out of that for the most part. And I don't know if that was the case with this lady. I don't know if anyone was there to advocate for her, to say, hey, please don't show this, or, you know, if they're filming it, like, hey, please edit that out. I don't know if she had anyone like that to help her, but my mom's case was taken on because a lot of hoarders hoard one location for a very long period of time, whereas my mom case, she hoarded a lot of locations because we were evicted a lot of times before we were able to stay for longer periods of time. There were a couple places we spent like a couple years at, but those were also the two worst hoards that we lived in, were those places where we had more extended stays. And those are the ones that were not shown. I wish I had a really, really old digital camera when I was younger at our, I would argue, worst hoard. And I had pictures of it. I had taken pictures and I never got them developed. And they were on that camera, but because I never took that camera with me when I left, so I have no idea what happened to it. If I found it again, I'm wondering if they could be developed, but I don't even know, like, if I would share those or not. I don't know. I feel like I'd have to blur stuff out in them, potentially. But mostly like the one picture I want to show is because I have such a vendetta against fruit flies and I want people to know why. And I think they do. They have an idea because of the shit that was in the house, like of all the stuff. It attracted so many fruit flies of other, we had other bugs too, but the fruit flies were by far just, I had such a problem with those that I'm like, anytime I see fruit flies, I'm like, oh my God, nope, it's gonna die. I can't deal with fruit flies in the house. Or really any bugs, but especially in there, like I'd get fed up.
Is a mental disorder marked by an obsessive need to acquire and keep things, even if the
I assume this guy knows that.
Hazardous or unsanitary. Kind of. I don't like their use of the word obsessive, though. I would much rather they use the word compulsive.
Yeah,
Obsession is a thought process, compulsion is a behaviour, and hoarding as an act and as a behaviour could be driven by lots of different things. Obsessions in the context of OCD being just one. Hoarding disorder is a standalone diagnosis in both the DSM-5 and the ICD-11. It is placed in the obsessive compulsive or related disorders chapter, and we'll come on to more about this relationship between hoarding disorder and OCD as the video progresses, but the definitions used for hoarding disorder in both manuals are pretty similar. Persistent difficulties with discarding or parting with possessions, regardless of their actual value, so not saving them and discarding them causes enormous distress. So then people are...
It took forever for me to ever talk about the hoarding, especially at any level of depth with anyone. I kind of just would like bury it deep and then just not talk about it. And I feel like also having a psychiatrist like talk about it is probably like a really helpful thing. But I also, my brother and I just didn't know there were other people out there until I made this, like we figured they'd be out there, but we never met any of them or really talked to them. So yeah, seeing other people's stories has been kind of nice, because even though I feel really bad for them, I'm sure they feel the same way with not being alone in the matter of being a child of hoarders. But what I was gonna say, because I had a brain fart. Damn. Also, congratulations on working out. You love it. That's good, because sometimes also people tend to make their workout goals extremely difficult. I don't understand people who make New Year's resolutions that are workout goals, because it's like, why do you say I'm going to work out an hour every day? That's insane. That's insane to start. Start with 15 minutes like every other day. It's much more feasible and easy to build a routine that way. And then you can start adding like 5 minutes every week or every other week. It makes it a lot more manageable. You did an ab workout last night. Nice. I worked out Wednesday or Monday and Wednesday, and I'm gonna try to, if I don't work out today, because I'm too tired, then I'll be working out tomorrow, doing some weights. I'm gonna try to get really a lot of squats in to help build some thigh muscle and a lot of other workouts to build overall muscle. But working out can be really good. I know not everyone apparently gets that like rush of like happy energy, but I do. I certainly get it when I work out, and I love it. Ab workouts can be a little brutal though. Sometimes they can be a little brutal. But yeah, on the message, what I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, with so I was originally diagnosed with like OCD. When I first started going to therapy as an adult, which is like the first time I'd went to therapy, and that's because like not everyone, especially like it takes a while to open up in therapy, especially to be like what's going on in your life. We thought it was just OCD that caused my problems. We've realized like OCD is a problem of mine. Like I'm kind of a neat freak. I've worked through it a little bit because I used to not be able to have like anything in the house around anything. But now I realize that it's OCD is like a part of my PTSD from living so many years in a hoarding environment. So yeah, I wasn't aware of that until I went and I switched therapists and like found one that more clicks with me. And yeah, they're like, oh yeah, you have this. It's like, oh yeah. I was like, I didn't realize that was the thing. You always think of PTSD as being stuff for like veterans or people who've gone through like, that's gonna sound weird because it was like a super traumatic event, like one event, not like a years long trauma. But like obviously I've learned a lot more since then. But yeah, I was like, I didn't know what to call it a lot of the times, like when I'd have these like panic attacks and stuff. So now we do, and it's like, and then like I know some people like say therapy doesn't work, but I think either they don't allow it to work because they're not honest and open, because you do have to be that in therapy, unfortunately, or they haven't found the right therapist, because sometimes you can run into just horrible therapists, and sometimes it takes 10 times to find one that fits your personality. I was lucky. The third time is when I found mine, because the first one was a therapist and a psychiatrist, and I hated the psychiatrist, like hated her so much. And then I found, after I switched and went to a different one, I found a therapist that works. So you just got to find one that like vibes with you and that you feel comfortable with opening up to. But yeah, and congratulations on your workouts. I hope you're able to stick with it.
Then creates.
I hope you don't get too sore from them either.
We're going to talk about as this video goes on, and quite a broad impairment in your day-to-day functioning. So it's not just the accumulation of items. It's not just the act.
It's not attributable. Okay, because I know I don't know what. I've never heard of Prader-Willi syndrome, but it's probably not surprising.
By not accumulating them, and the perceived normality of this behavior, that's what makes it a mental.
Not better explained by the symptoms of another mental disorder. Decreased energy. Okay, that's just listing a bunch of them. It's like, it's not caused by this. Tristan, okay.
Illness. Look deeper than just the behavior. Yeah, you see.
From my understanding, a lot of hoarders end up that way.
I think that's a lot.
For two reasons. It's because they had a very traumatic experience, and before that traumatic experience, it's not that they were hoarders, but they're like prone to that type of behavior. And then that trauma just makes it go out of control.
As you can imagine, people who hoard rarely leave the house. They tend to live very socially isolated lives. So many people are hoarding in secret and either never come to the attention of services, or by the time they do, things are very, very extreme. That makes it very difficult to accurately estimate the prevalence of hoarding disorder worldwide. One meta-analysis has estimated it to affect approximately 2.5% of the population. That's 1 in 40 people.
Damn.
To me, that's huge. And what we also know is it's more common in older people, particularly over the age of 60.
Is it because people over the age of 60 are more likely by that point to experience something traumatic? Because, like, that includes losing a loved one. Because, decline of cognitive function isn't going to cause hoarding. That can cause problems with cleaning, but I don't think decline of cognitive function would do that. Using a cat
My name
tray
is
bowl.
Shanna.
It's pretty bad.
It's always her that they show
I'm
to.
on disability. I can definitely handle dirt. I don't have a problem with that.
Wow. Hoarding can be dangerous not just to you, but also to the people that live around you. There are risks to your own health, a high prevalence of comorbid mental health conditions. There is the physical health risks to do with infection, contamination, and vermin. Then there's risks to your own safety. For example, look at how many falling and trip hazards there
Yep.
are. And perhaps the biggest and most worrisome risk.
Dude, being on crutches in my mom's hoard was the fucking worst. I think people could probably imagine because, like, I have brittle bones, so I would frequently, especially like most of my fractures end up in my feet, and I've had quite a few feet and toes, and lots of ankle sprains. And so crutching through a hoard can be. I think there's a reason why I looked like I was a pro on crutches when I was outside, like in school and stuff. And they're like, "Man, she's grooving." It's like, yeah, because I have to like do the sideways crab walk on crutches to get through my mom's hoard
Because it
when
affects everybody
it was
in the
in the
neighborhood.
previous
It's a
location,
fire
not the one they
risk. That's all
filmed.
kindling. And when fires start, they're not predictable as to where they go and to what extent it endangers other people. I can't imagine there's a functioning smoke alarm in that place, and even if a fire was to start, how on earth are you going to escape?
There was an anonymous neighbor who looked over the fence and saw the outside.
Hi, Cetra.
That's how it often comes to
wanted
services
it
attention.
cleaned up and turned her in.
One of the defining features of what makes hoarding a mental disorder is how normalized it is for that person.
Yeah. Are you crying? Do you want uppies? Come here, kid. All right, here's my boy. Okay. You want to go under the cover? You want to go under the blanket or above it, buddy? You tend to want to be under it lately. He's being a good boy. Also, he's like, he's so good. He likes lately to squeeze himself under the heated blanket, but like under my calves. And it makes me so nervous because that's where he likes to put his head, and like most of like his first half is worth. Like, why are you trying to lay under my legs? Probably because they're warm, I imagine. But yeah. Also, like, I also see a lot of people on Hoarders. I mean, I guess it doesn't surprise me. They've had a long period of time, but they have houses that have a fair bit of like land. Not necessarily huge, but enough that like they store stuff not just in their car and house, obviously, but like just throughout like the property that they have. It's probably a good thing we didn't really have property. We never owned a house. We always rented, which I feel sorry for all the people who rented out to my mom, to be honest.
Because it's normal, they're not going to ask for help, either because they don't see it as a problem, or for some people there's a sense of embarrassment about how bad things have gotten. Refusing help then causes strained relationships with family. They might give up on trying to help this person and back away. That contributes to the social isolation even more. So it's often the impact that people's hoarding has on others, either on family and on neighbours, that triggers services then getting involved. It will usually start through the local councils because of the environmental hazards, and then by the time they come and see the true extent of it and meet the individual that's living there, might get mental health services involved as well.
Yeah, my mom also went on the phone. She was at risk of being evicted, so this was the way of like not getting evicted, but also not getting the place condemned because don't want to do that to the landlord, but also for her to keep her place too. So she had incentive because it was like that, or like potentially be on the streets. Per day, holy shit!
Sean and Shanna is my sister.
You have
I
cats
don't
in
think
there?
anything would honestly change if it wasn't for the city posting a thing on the door.
Oh,
So added to the risk profiles is the financial consequences.
so that's another thing. Is like not all hoarders are going to be able to afford, especially that. Like are going to be able to afford like fees and stuff. It's just like they clearly have a problem. I'm not saying what they're doing isn't wrong. It's a hazard to themselves physically and mentally. They're isolated, like everything is bad, but I'm not going to put like the blame like they have a mental health condition that needs treatment. What they do to especially people who live with them is it's still not acceptable, but because I understand why some people, such children hoarders, don't necessarily have a relationship with a parent who hoarded, or if it was both parents who hoarded, I understand why they might not. I chose to still have a relationship with my mom, but like as much as I understand why she did it, and that's why I stayed and why I still help and because I love her, I also don't entirely forgive her either for kind of putting me through that situation because of the things that obviously did to me physically and mentally.
And potentially criminal consequences of not adhering to these notices that the government and the local authority are giving you. It's a very oversimplistic approach, though, because it purely sees this as a problematic behaviour, almost implying people are just doing this because they're lazy. And therefore, if there's an incentive or the risk of a punishment in some way, they can change, right? Just like that.
Nope.
It's really oversimplistic, and we need to step back and think about the thoughts and the emotional states that drive this behaviour, because they can be very different. And if you don't change what drives it, then as soon as this place is cleared up, it will just happen again.
The Shannon's been living dirty.
Wow.
And that's kind of also, ooh, that was bright. Kind of the problem with the show too. As good as it can shine light on these behaviors, they can clean a house, but that's a very temporary solution. They can even offer therapy, but that does require the person to go to therapy.
Wow.
Hey, it looks like my mom's fridge.
Sorry if you've...
Wait, was that a fridge?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a fridge. Okay. Honestly, she had God. Somehow her house definitely looked better, definitely looks worse than because she's having human feces, presumably, in there. Her house is definitely worse because she has way more room too than my mom's worst hoard. However, our fridge, especially in the worst hoard, and another one was way worse than hers because we had no room in the fucking fridge, and we had fruit flies that an infestation that I don't think people understand the size of, except for the people who went in and cleaned after they evicted us and had to use shovels.
When she moved in with my mom.
This is
There was
interesting.
like 2 orders in a pod.
We've talked about this concept of heritability on previous videos. So what proportion of your risk of developing this condition is dictated by genetic risk factors rather than environmental ones? We've mostly talked about it in relation to neurodevelopmental conditions like autism and ADHD, and a bit on schizophrenia as well.
I have 2 of those. I have autism and ADHD.
But the heritability is estimated to be around 80-85%. Really high. Genetics are much more important than environmental risk factors for those conditions. The heritability for hoarding disorder is less than 50%. So the risk is more to do with environmental risk factors than genetic ones, though both play a part. Interestingly, a Nature paper found more overlaps in the genetic risk profiles between hoarding disorder and schizophrenia than with conditions traditionally associated with hoarding disorder like obsessive compulsive disorder.
Losing somebody
Interesting.
takes a lot out of a person.
I think it's hard because we live together and our lives were entwined with one another. Oh no, I just missed that.
There's clearly an element of grief tied up in this as well. Passively living like her mum when they lived together, which has then passively continued after she's died when she's only become more isolated. And maybe continuing to live like this is a way of, on a deeper level, feeling still attached to her mum. More isolation, though, means it continues to go unchallenged. It continues to be normalised as all she knows.
Shanna has been abandoned and isolated due to mom's death.
I will say, like, so when I get really stressed out, like when I had my late grandpa passed away, I went to a friend's house because I had cleaned my whole house, right? And I still needed more to do to kind of because it was like the day after he passed. Like I found out the night before. I had to like do something. And so I had called my friend after I'd spent several hours already. I got my house all cleaned up and I needed more to do. I just needed to focus on something. And I said, hey, can I come over and clean your apartment? I need something to do. I need to clean. And I spent all day cleaning her apartment. Like her husband went to work and then came home from work and I was still cleaning. And they felt so bad and I'm just like, no, I don't need help. I can do this. Just let me do this. Like I'm working through some stuff. Like the cleaning is allowing me to work through my emotions and it was like so helpful. And I'm like, then you guys get a clean house out of it too. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I actively, like, sometimes I still panic clean. It's gotten a little bit better, especially with therapy and like using music as a catalyst to kind of help regulate my emotions. Same with working out. But like besides panic cleaning, I honestly do enjoy cleaning. I just don't like doing that when people are around, like animals, whatever. But if I'm going to someone's house to clean, that's like a family member, someone. Excuse me, I hear what are you doing? Hold up, he's being real bad. Are you on the cat tree? You're not even on the cat. Where are you? You're hiding behind the curtains being naughty. You're being real naughty. Pulled out the extension cord for my lights. One of them, what was I saying? So when I clean, now I have the hiccups. Now when I clean for like a friend's house, if they're home, I don't really care because like they kind of give me free reign to do as I please as far as like cleaning goes. And I like that. I also like if someone wants to learn how to clean on a budget, especially, and clean really efficiently, I don't mind showing them how. I love doing it. But if I go to like a relative's house and some of them are of the mindset of like on that borderline of hoarding, or maybe they're already there, that's when it's much more difficult to get stuff done because you have to work within because I have cleaned for other people who have either hoarding disorder or they're like kind of borderline that, and I have done that. It can be difficult to work around. You have to know exactly where they like to place things. You can even take a picture beforehand because some things need to go back in their places. Because it's to an extent, but like as you do it, you kind of start with very little things. It takes a long time. But then as they grow more accustomed to you being over and doing that, you can do more. However, sometimes it's just like the anxiety is still there for me. I don't like cleaning when other people are home. When it comes to friends, like I haven't, like the friends I clean with them been fine, but it's primarily like family members or people I don't know super well. I have a lot of trouble sitting there and cleaning while they're home. So when they're away, I have like the biggest like weight off my chest. I'm so happy. I blast music and I just clean and I literally fucking I'm just like grooving while I'm cleaning and I'm just like, I'm gonna make this place spotless, wiping out every bit of the outside cabinets, including the handle knobs and all of the everything. Like if it's there, it's gonna be clean. Yeah, it will take me a while. I'm not fast at cleaning. Because yesterday I cleaned for 5 hours. I didn't even realize it'd been 5 hours. I thought it was 2 hours. I thought it was 2 hours I cleaned, not 5. I don't know where the time went. And I mean, the kitchen looks great now, though. The kitchen looks great. The bathroom looks great. I wanted it to sparkle. There's something about getting it to like just do that, to have that like nice shine. It's like everything looks brand new. And there's something about that that's so satisfying. Oh my god, it's like having a happy brain juice, like yes, and listening to like K-pop and stuff, and it's like I know how to clean. It's something you learn. Sometimes they're just trial and error, or late night infomercials, or maybe you just fuck around and find out. But I'm just like, I like to know all the tips and tricks to cleaning that also won't like have like a lot of like use a lot of harsh chemicals, because I wear gloves when I clean anyway now, because otherwise I would like break out. But I try to use specifically like a lot of vinegar solutions or a baking soda mixed with a couple things. And then there's also disinfectant wipes. I don't use bleach. I do not use bleach. It is not good. Anything with ammonia, I don't use. especially with like hoarding environments, the ventilation generally is not going to be great, so you don't want to use that kind of stuff. And again, it's all about working within confines, like these restraints. And with my mother, she didn't have, there was nothing to work through. If you can't throw stuff away with her when I lived with her, it was only when she left the house for long periods of time, when she'd go to work for like an 8-hour shift, was when I'd be, you know, good, safe enough to like try to clean. It's just, ugh. Hi, Chromatic Cobra, K-pop clean stream. So I don't know about cleaning. I have a desktop. There'd be no way to move this thing. Especially since my office is really, honestly, low maintenance to clean. It's a lot of dusting, and I have 3 animals, so everything in the house is a lot of dusting and vacuuming. They shed like crazy. My 2 of them shed like crazy. So there's always that to do. I still think like the basements of any house are always going to be the grossest unless you have a finished basement. I don't have a finished basement. So naturally it's just like accumulates dust like nothing else. So going down there sucks, but I scrub the basement floor anyway because it's still sealed. You can still clean it. It just, you have to use like, you have to really put your back in because it's not the type of floor it isn't super flat. So you really have to fucking put your back into it when you're like sitting your shoulders into it and you're scrubbing. Like the IRL streamers who walk around. I could do videos would be really easy to do for YouTube for that. Streams would be a bit different. So the people who do IRL streams and do that have like a special backpack, and that stuff in there is usually very expensive to get it set up to look good and everything. As far as like videos, that's why videos on like YouTube and stuff are way easier to do because you don't need any of that. You could literally just do it with your phone or a camera and do video that way and then edit it and post. A lot easier that way. As far as K-pop, I couldn't get away with that on YouTube. I'd get a copyright strike. Like K-pop is they literally on Twitch muted like 2 minutes of my stream for playing 3 seconds. 3 seconds of a song of a really popular K-pop song. 3 seconds. They muted my stream for 2 minutes on Twitch, and I'm like, oh my god. I was like, damn. I guess you're not allowed to have any music like on there, like even a couple seconds. That's why like I don't use K-pop at all, but I love listening to it. Oh my god, such a K-pop Demon Hunters. The music in there, phenomenal. But yeah, I'll probably eventually. That's one of my goals. This winter is to do some like teach people how to make some videos. I don't know if they'll be short or longer. Like I could do longer videos easily, but I might break up one long filming session into several videos because information can be overwhelming. I don't know. It'd be kind of like one of those clean girl videos, but like after watching someone who's a React content person, watching her watch those, it's like, okay, so I wouldn't be that because they don't, 1, give good cleaning tips, and 2, they're not dressed at all appropriately for YouTube. It's basically corn, but like somehow they get it on YouTube because their body parts are all hanging out, and I'm just like, how is that allowed? It's because it's considered informative. They're just wearing see-through dresses. Like, I don't understand how this is allowed, but here we are, and people get away with some wild things, but then some people can't get away with showing their toenails, so that's weird. I don't know. Standards on YouTube are weird, but yeah. That aside, I do want to make cleaning video, like cleaning on a budget specifically, and I need to get a tripod for my phone so that way I can do it better because I don't want to hold my phone and be like scrubbing, because like cleaning for me is like a double arm task, especially like the bathroom, because you just want to be like, yeah. I also like, one of the things that I really like is the people who scrub the curtains. The bathroom curtains have always been the worst. I'm like, get rid of your plastic curtains, get the cloth ones. They're not really any more expensive. I paid like $10 I think on Amazon. I realize that's not feasible for everyone, but I paid like $10 on Amazon, and you can just take them off you can just take the curtains off and throw them in the washer and hang them up to dry, and they're good to go. You don't have to scrub them. And I'm like, yes. And also with the bathtub, if you have scrubbing bubbles, that works really well. If you don't have scrubbing bubbles, a baking soda mixture also works really well. There are some people on TikTok who sell something similar, and it's basically just baking soda with dye in it, and they sell it for extreme amounts of money. A lot of people fall for that, and I'm like, you can literally just, baking soda is like 50 cents, just buy that and mix it with water, and you basically have what they have without the dye and without spending all the money, because they're just taking advantage of you. Their product isn't any better than something that's, you know, a tenth of the cost. Your plastic ones have grown sentient life. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, cloth curtain. No, they're water resistant or waterproof cloth curtains. I got mine on Amazon. I'm not going to say they're the prettiest thing ever because you can't usually get them in like really cute print or designs, but you can just get one that are neutral colors. You can get blue ones. You can get them in pretty much whatever. I have tan ones. Mine are like an orangey brown on one side and then tan on the other, so they still allow light to come through. And yeah, you just take them off and you throw them in the wash and let them hang up to dry, because I don't remember if you can dry them or not. So they're curtains anyway. They're used to getting wet, and you just dry them in your bathroom. You could honestly, if you don't have one, you just put them on back on the rack and let them dry for, you know, 8 hours or so, and they're good to go. It really depends how much ventilation you have with wherever you're drying them, with how quickly they'll dry, and which ones you buy. You buy a really thick one, they're going to take a while to dry. You buy a thinner one, which does, ours does fabulous. Like we don't ever have water pool out. It never makes it through, and ours does a great job and it's super cheap. So highly recommend those, because I used plastic ones and I can tell you the amount of I literally took it off the thing outside with the hose and was on my hands and knees on my concrete slab scrubbing the hell out of it, because, and it doesn't help that they're all marked up because the cats won't leave them alone. They claw the heck out of them. But I was scrubbing it. I just never felt like it would get clean enough. So we eventually just threw it out and got a cloth one. And it's way easier. It's made life cleaning in the bathroom just immensely easier. If you have cats, they're still probably going to mark it up. That's the nature of cats. They have claws, and for some reason ours are obsessed with the bathtubs, so they're gonna mess it up. But yeah, definitely for sure look at cloth, like waterproof cloth curtains for your tub. World of difference when it comes to cleaning, because then, you know, once a week, just take it out, throw it in the washer, and then don't think about it. Dude, you don't have to think about it. Just put it in the washer and you're good. Probably don't wash it with anything else. Wash it by itself, because you don't want the colors to run into your clothes or anything. But like, just wash it. It's good to go. It's fabulous. I love things that make my life easier. If I don't have to like spend as much time breaking my back cleaning, which, you know, is also a point. There's tips and tricks for that too. I've also learned if you don't have a vacuum cleaner, it's fine. If you have anywhere from a credit card or a card that's like a plastic credit card, or shoes, preferably ones with rubber soles, like exercise shoes, like tennis shoes, heels can sometimes work. You can just walk around your carpet and like drag it, like moonwalk, like Michael Jackson would, like moonwalk kind of. It will get up so much hair, like you don't even know. Or if you have anything like a rubber scraper, you can use those too. They sell them on Chewy, but those ones are way more expensive, and it will get up so much hair. It is more work than a vacuum cleaner, but they do a better job than a vacuum cleaner. Honestly, like if you use a vacuum cleaner and then one of those things, you're gonna still get up a surprising amount of hair, but then it's gone. You can just rinse it off with the hose and you're done. The things you do. Now, when it comes to repairing things that break in the house, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that at all. I don't know shit. I don't know about electricity very much. Like, I'm learning slowly. I got a stud finder and a thing to look at electrical wires and stuff, and I'm going to be learning how to install because I want to. But yeah, you require a HEPA filter due to allergies. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I had a family member who needed one of those too for a really long time. I'm on Zyrtec every single day, because otherwise I have, what is it called? So I don't have like true allergies, I guess. Like, I'm not allergic to like going outside and stuff. The problem is like my immune system reacts weird. So like I'll sit down. I was at the allergist and just sitting on the table, I was breaking out in hives on my legs from where I was sitting. And they did they know how they do the allergy test where they like prick your back with like way too many things. The problem was mine was inconclusive because I reacted to the placebo. And you're not supposed to react to the placebo, but I literally reacted to the placebo and everything else. But they were like, well, that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to react to the placebo. But, you know, I'm not the only case. Like, other people have done that, and it's called like it's like a reaction or contact hives, and it's like a pressure. It's like if your body gets aggravated or too hot or too cold, you're gonna break out in hives. I take Zyrtec every day, and that's like, oh yeah, I'm fine now, for the most part. have those or Swiffers. Life was miserable. Yeah. Dude, Swiffers. Just being able to slap that thing at the bottom and putting the little like the soap dispenser in and some batteries and just going. Holy shit. They make cleaning the basement floor like 10 times more enjoyable, because like I do that now. I used to scrub on my hands and knees and I hate it. I still do if there's like more difficult spots like that need that extra scrub, that need like a coarse scrub. I'll get it for a spot. I'll do it for spot treatments with the thing. But as far as like overall cleaning like the basement floor, I just use a Swiffer. Really anywhere else in my house that doesn't have carpet, it's a Swiffer. They're so nice. They're so nice. And then instead of a duster, you don't have to use dusters. You can just use a towel. If you can't reach a spot, put it on your broom or any long stick. Go find a stick outside. Just be like, just fucking get it with a towel or any sort of cloth that you don't really care about anymore. You could just when we get moths, because occasionally we get moths that especially in summer in our house, because we have a deck that I go out and sometimes the moths fly in. I have cats, you see, so I just pick up the cat and I'm like, get him, our older cat will like lock on and then eat the moth. So I was just like, yep. Because they hold the dust, helps you. Okay, yeah. Certain cloths don't hold dust as well as Swiffers will. Again, it's gonna depend on the material you're using to clean. I find like old cloths that have like they're old, they're clean, but they're clean and dry, but they're kind of old, so they kind of get that more coarse texture to the towel. I feel like those hold dust a lot better than any newer like new towel out there, you know what I mean? Like if it's aged a little bit, it seems to hold the dust better. But yeah, there's so many things. Also, a lot of people I feel like don't know that you should replace your bathroom caulk every once in a while, and also make sure you scrub your bathroom caulk really well, because you know it can get mold on it otherwise, and that's not good. You don't want that. And if you don't have a well ventilated bathroom, it's not your fault if it does start growing mold, but you should replace it, because that could potentially cause health issues. It's honestly like, as far as like home stuff goes, that's probably one of the easiest things to do and cheapest things to do, is just you pluck it out using a special tool, and then you put it in and use the thing to smooth it down, and you're good to. I mean, you have to wait for it to dry. You don't want to like take a shower with it right away. I think you want to let it dry for like 24 hours or something. Maybe it's 48. I don't remember if it's 24 or 48. But just this little thing that you should like make sure to do if you own the house. If you don't, then you should talk to your landlord about it, because they should be the one doing that. But unless they give you the go-ahead approval and you really want to do it yourself for some reason, but landlords should really be in charge of that. But I also know that they're not the best. Sometimes when it comes to that stuff, they'll just let it go because they don't care. I have been through that situation where they're like, oh yeah. And they're like, so you're gonna do your thing? They're like, nah, it's good. Like, yeah, it's good.
Shanna says she's okay.
It's the volume's so low.
These cognitive distortions of normalization and rationalization are really our first targets for psychological treatment. But the rigidity of these defenses can be so frustrating for family. How can you not see that this is not normal? And when they can't get past those walls, it leads to basically a fight or flight reaction. It either leads to conflict and the relationship breaks down, or people just give up entirely. Either way, the result is the same: much more isolation.
Yep.
These distortions then become more entrenched because they're, again, going unchallenged. And we see how this cycle of thought patterns and behaviors perpetuates one another. This is where cognitive behavior therapy comes in.
My name is Linda, and I believe that we are at the beginning of the end times now.
What? Wait, this is a different horror. Did she? We are at the beginning of the. What is with this music? What is with the music choice? What is it? What is?
The Lord comes back, the people that are written in the Lamb's Book of Life, they will raise to be with the Lord, and that, I believe, is the rapture.
Okay, she's a very, very. I'm gonna be nice here. She's very, very faithful, very religious, God-fearing woman. And I'm curious how that It all explains her hoard. Is she hoarding for Jesus? That sounds inappropriate to say. But the music choice also sounded equally inappropriate. Why were they playing that sort of music? Like, look at this! Like, why that kind of music?
I have stuff here that could be used for people who do not make the rapture. For the left behinders.
So she's seeing.
I love when people are like that. They're like, oh, it's for you. It's like, oh, you're so humble. Oh, you're so humble. What's gonna happen when you're left behind here too? With all the sinners. She's literally saying, I'm saving all this for all the people who aren't good enough to get raptured. I think that alone might disqualify you, but I don't know religion very well, so I can't speak on that.
This as an act of goodwill, as being a good Samaritan.
It's a little
It would
diluted.
be interesting to probe into the intensity of this belief and the cause and effect, i.e. to try and trace the chronology of, is the hoarding a result of this belief, or has this belief essentially emerged and is now relied upon as a way of trying to rationalize and condone the behavior, which would be more suggestive of an underlying hoarding disorder.
Seems like each time that we try to deal with this, the situation is a little bit worse.
Mm.
You know, she's got a little bigger rental or a little bigger storage shed, and I guess it's just kind of like an avalanche. It starts kind of small, but just gets bigger.
Does she rent then, or she own?
Just doing a cleanup is going to be a very short-term fix. It might
Always
address
is.
the immediate safety risks, but without catered psychological therapy, the real problem doesn't go away and it will just recur. The difficulty is the person needs to acknowledge that this is a problem that needs to change if psychological therapy is going to stand a chance at working.
I see a fire hazard. I see a health risk. I see a situation that shortens my mother's life every day that she's there.
And he's right. And there's an argument to say that you can do what you want with your own property, and arguably you can make unwise decisions that unnecessarily jeopardize your own health. Part of being human, right? We can all do what we want to do. However, you don't have the right to jeopardize the safety of others.
Yep.
That's the difference here. And that's why legally and morally and ethically, services have to get involved and try and enforce change if need be.
It just sucks that there aren't a lot of services out there that are willing to be kind and actually help. It's usually, again, as he's brought up, usually fines, which doesn't help the situation, or it's forced stuff, which doesn't help. There's not a lot of services out there for people who hoard or for children of hoarders other than rehoming them, which, as someone who knows people who've gone through the adoption system for not that reason, it's not a pleasant place to be and led to more problems. So yeah, it's just there's so much. I feel like people like, I feel like we could have better services, especially in America. There could be better services. Like, we could allocate the funds a little differently to make sure we take care of everyone. Because this is a health and safety issue, and then obviously it's like there's a problem they're struggling with a mental disorder. They deserve help. They deserve understanding and love, being treated like a human being and not just a sideshow display to be put on TV.
If one trailer goes up in smoke, the others around it are going to go up too. 7 days into their inspection, the family must convince Lynn to get rid of a hoard she believes is ordained by God.
But I can't do anything about how she thinks about things.
In number, they are like the sands.
What do you mean there's deleted scenes? Watch deleted scenes. aetv.com Hoarders. A&E TV. I didn't know they had. So why were those scenes? Were they deleted just because they only have 22 minutes per person to cover for the most part? Or is it something else? Because I'm just thinking for people like myself who asked them to cut certain areas of the episode. I don't know. I'm assuming other people had asked them to do similar things. They respected my wishes, so I assume they respected others. Are the stuff we asked them to not show isn't going to end up on deleted scenes, right? Because they still technically filmed a lot of this stuff. I just asked them not to show it. They were filming everything. I would just hope it wouldn't ended up. I don't. AETV.com. I didn't know A&E had. So I doubt it. I doubt they do actually, because this episode's back in the. Give me a second. I need to look this up. I'm curious. I'm curious if this is still a thing. Ooh, that's a shit looking website. Damn. How, okay, deleted scenes for us from, okay. There's a lot of people with the same name as my mom. I don't know. Is that, wait, hold up. I have it, I don't want to. Okay, it is muted. I just want to make sure it is. What is, okay, that is not. There's a lot of people with my mom's name. Damn. I guess popular names. Just seeing if this is still, I don't think they have deleted scenes anymore. Curious. This led to Hoarders, a Reddit, Hoarders TV. Didn't know that was even a Reddit. But don't quickly see deleted scenes. Yeah, I'm curious. I also see that's Facebook. Okay. People are trying to, but the problem is there's a lot of people with the name Kim. But I saw someone. Okay, that's not the same. I didn't know there was a Hoarders TV Reddit. What the hell? Facts in the most. Oh my god. I didn't know. I'm not sure I can show this on stream because I didn't know this was a thing. But this is how big is this Reddit? How can you, I don't even know. I see weekly visitors and weekly contributions, but it doesn't say the size of it. I don't think. If you're joined, do you not see? I thought Reddit always posted the size of what's on here. I'm curious how many people are on here. I didn't know. I had no idea. This is a Reddit. What the? This is not the children, because I knew about the Children of Hoarders Reddit, right? I knew about that one. But I never knew. Also, I never knew. I also don't know how, like, most people are talking about it all. Because I guess I didn't watch a lot of this for a very long time. But I'm just. I didn't know. There's a Reddit for everything, so I guess I should have known, right? Oh, wow, okay. I'm wondering, man, they're so have that Reddit has the wrong season and episode number for almost every episode they look for. They're probably going through A&E stuff. Also, Hulu had it for a while and they mislabeled my mom's episode. And they never fixed it. So that's cool. That's real cool of them. Now when I provide stuff, it's based on what Amazon Prime has it because I've been able to, it's correct. I've only watched my mom's, but I didn't know this is wild, by the way. I didn't know there were so many people who enjoyed this show that they had like. This isn't people who are sharing trauma who lived through it either. This is just people who are fans of the show. And and I feel like the lady that one of the ladies that this guy is covering are probably the more quote unquote like notorious hoarders, more well known potentially. Or asking if you were on Hoarders, what would your hoard be? I feel like that's insensitive. And again, this is for people who are fans of the show, not because, this is. However, then there's people who are like, oh, who did Dr. Zazio's makeup? I'm like, I would want to know that, I think. I don't know. I thought she did her own makeup. I kind of just thought she did her own. And oh, there's the rapture. That's what we're looking at. That lady. This must be her. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are like, why do you watch Hoarders? And that's to feel better about the cleanliness of their own home. And that's majority of why people watch it, not for any other reason. But yeah, I'm surprised how many people just know the names of like the people in the episodes. Like they don't label it by season or anything. They just know. How do you know? How do you know? I don't like damn. Anyway, now that we know that's a thing, I can turn the screen back on.
The Sun here is taking such an emotionally mature perspective on this. The problem is not really the behavior. The problem is the thought patterns that are driving the behavior. That's what's key to any compulsive disorder. It's about the normalization of it and the anxiety of not doing it.
Do you think I meet the definition of a hoarder?
Hell yes.
Yes.
I don't think you see this house the same that I see it.
They're starting to
yeah, no, I agree with that a lot. I don't think a lot of hoarders understand what they are, because my mom didn't, and she accepted it more after the show, but she would never have called herself one because she'd watched the show and she did the same thing what a lot of other people is use it to feel better about her own situation, even though my brother and I as children were sitting there saying we're in that situation right now, we're in there. It's kind of wild. And I'm also curious, are there a lot of people who are hoarders who watch the show? I know my mom did, but like, I'm wondering if there's a bunch of other hoarders who watch the show to be like, I'm not that bad watching the worst cases. There's a lot of people obviously who are hoard, who never got on the show, which is not necessarily, I mean, they were nice enough about it. Was it the most helpful thing in the world? It cleaned her house. That's all it did. It took an immediate environmental problem and made that a temporary, like, clean environment. And obviously I have set boundaries because I just can't deal with that anymore. But I don't know what the state of her living is now. I imagine it's not as bad. It does sound like her significant other doesn't allow her to hoard to a huge extent, but I think her car still is.
Touch on insight now, which is not an all or nothing phenomenon. When it comes to mental disorders, when we assess insight, we might start by looking at to what extent does someone appreciate that this is not how most people live. Then we might go to, do they really have any appreciation that this is causing problems? That might be something that needs treatment, that might be long-term treatment. You can have insight into some bits and not others. There's lots of grey area when it comes to this, but you need a little bit of insight if psychological therapy is going to stand a chance at working. Otherwise, how else are you going to get them to sit in a room and engage with the process?
I'm realizing she may not be able to make a lot of good decisions. What is the main cause of the smell?
Musty odor having to do with mold and dust.
Again, this is about insight, but be careful not to overgeneralize. Just because someone maybe lacks decision-making ability in one domain in their life doesn't mean they lack decision-making ability in all domains of their life.
I'm Dr. Melva Green, a board-certified psychiatrist
She's
specializing
nice
in
earrings.
anxiety disorders and hoarding behaviors.
Now, I understand that you've been holding on to some stuff for end of times. Is that the case?
Well, the end times, when you can't buy or sell the things that you need, it's going to be hard to get food, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I've never seen a home as bad as these two on this episode, though I have been in many homes of people where hoarding has been a problem. For professionals watching this, some tips. Don't go in on your own. Don't go in if there's any indicator that it's not safe. If you feel your safety is threatened, you need to just leave.
Yeah, so Hoarders, at least with my mom's case, they did do like a preliminary exam to make sure it wasn't going to be an immediate danger for them to enter the premises. And by that, they have like an inspector come out, which, you know, is already hard enough that they're doing the show, but now a whole nother person is coming out ahead of time to make sure that the environment is safe enough. It's not safe, obviously, to a point, but like it's safe enough that there's no there's no bugs and certain other things that are going to present, like if they can wear masks to avoid it, but like they had to make sure there's no bed bugs, which is a big thing. They made sure of that, and they're looking for like, honestly, I don't know what else. I know bed bugs and fleas, but if you don't have bed bugs and fleas, then you're pretty much good. But they also will, from my understanding, they were gonna, if bed bugs were present for whatever reason, they were going to take care of that. I assume fumigate. Is that even possible in a hoard like that where there's just so much shit? I don't know how well that would work. I do know that we did have, not in the place that they showed on my mom's episode, but in the couple places previously when I actually lived in Florida, that place we hoarded, which was where I had I had a couple freak accidents, but that's where I had the vacuum one. That place we had fleas for a while, and we had fleas several times, and it's just, they're awful. They're awful, especially since we were forced to sit on the floor because we were kids. We weren't allowed to sit on the furniture because we had limited furniture. So my mom was the only one really allowed, if she was home, allowed on the furniture. So that sucked.
Whether that's because of vermin,
So we didn't have enough
fire
seating
risks,
areas.
sharp objects around like broken glass. But providing you can do this assessment in the way that it is safe, then it starts with a conversation. My approach, and it's my approach to most assessments that I do in pretty much all aspects of psychiatry, is to start with a day in the life. What is this person's routine, and where are things going well, where are things not going so well? You can then usually spot those day-to-day things that you can probe into and explore some of the underlying thought patterns and emotional states. And that's where your mental state examination comes in. It also means that very quickly you get an idea of how this is affecting somebody's function, and you can also get a good window into some people's strengths and where things are going well, rather than just focusing on all the negatives.
This is a unique hoard in the sense that this is integral to her belief system.
Both people are right in that regards. Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. It's very informative, honestly.
For having something is, you know, God would want me to have this. You know,
You've
how
got
do
to argue with
dispute
God.
God?
Yeah,
Really?
exactly. You've got to try and disentangle as well. Is this just an odd belief that human beings are all entitled to have? I think people that, you know, are well into astrology, that's a weird belief. You've got to separate that from recurrent, intrusive, unwanted thought patterns like obsessions and delusions, which are fixed, false beliefs held with 100% certainty despite all evidence to the contrary.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit of a chill day. It's a Friday, so I usually kind of have a chill day, especially if I'm up super early. You have a good day too. Also have a really good weekend, and I hope you have a really good day at work. I know it can be a little bit stressful going to work, especially on a Friday, but I hope it goes very smoothly for you, okay? Have a good day, Chromatic Cobra.
And are a symptom of psychosis.
I'm a licensed clinical
Hey, it's her.
psychologist, and I specialize in OCD and compulsive hoarding.
Never have I had a job where having you here is more crucial.
Once upon a time, people think that hoarding was exclusively a manifestation of obsessive compulsive disorder. We now know that's not true. A starting point to try and distinguish between the two are whether the behaviours are, and I'm going to introduce you to some terms that you might not have heard of before, egosyntonic or ego dystonic. Ego is referring to our sort of core values. Egosyntonic means these behaviours and the feelings evoked are acceptable and in harmony with our values and our goals. That's what happens in hoarding disorder, where people are accumulating items they perceive as having value, and the distress comes from not being able to keep hold of them. It's a behaviour that's compulsive and habitual, but the compulsion itself doesn't cause the distress.
I think it's funny because mine's like the exact opposite. Is I especially when I get in my like cleaning frenzies, my like when I'm stressing out over it, I start to throw away stuff I really shouldn't be throwing away. Like I really shouldn't be throwing away because I get stressed out and I'm just like, I'm clearing out the house. I'm getting rid of so much stuff. Like I don't even care. Like I start not caring about what I'm throwing away. It could be plates. Like it's just like we only need 2 plates. Why do we need more than 2 plates? Like I always afraid of like becoming my mother, so I strive really hard. It's like almost like a panic reaction. It's just like get rid of all the bullshit or what I perceive as that, and just get rid of it because it'll make me feel better. Because seeing stuff just lay on the counter or whatever, it's just like it's like okay, we're good. Which is funny because I only feel that way really in my home, but when it comes to other people's homes, it's less of that response. Even if it's dirty, I don't mind cleaning it because it's like, oh, it's not, maybe because it's not my place and I don't have that type of reaction, but also it's different because like I've cleaned for family members' homes where I can have like a panic reaction, but I think it's more because I feel like they're breathing down my necks and making sure I don't do certain things, which is like, just let me throw out the 5-year-old ketchup bottle. It's fine. Like it's been opened for 5 years and it's brown. It's not even red now. So yeah, it's like stuff like that I don't like. It's just like, just let me throw it away. Let me do what I want. I remember the one time I had foot surgery, and when I was recovering from that, I was off crutches by that point. So it's probably 8 weeks after my tendon surgery, which is like from your foot up to your lower calf. I was in a walking boot and I was cleaning a family member's home and like fridge and stuff, just because like at that point it's like, it's fine, I can walk now and now I can clean for them, because I really wanted to target that fridge, because I don't care how embarrassed anyone is that I have to clean their fridge. Nothing's gonna be as bad as my mom's. Nothing. It can be bad. I'm not saying it can't be bad. I'm just like, nothing's gonna phase me the way my mom's fridge phased me. And even the one they showed on Hoarders, they opened that fridge, still not as bad as they're way worse. We had 2 ones that were just monstrosities. Like I don't know, I feel like there was living stuff in there for sure. It was, nothing will compare to those fridges to me, like nothing. If I can handle that, I can handle pretty much anything.
Ego dystonic is what happens in OCD. The intrusive thoughts are unwanted, they're deeply unpleasant, they're not in keeping with our values and our beliefs. People often do not want to do the compulsions, but they feel that they have no choice, as this is the only way to at least temporarily try and relieve the anxiety that comes from the obsessions. The obsession leads to the anxiety, the compulsive behaviours are designed to try and undo the obsession to relieve the anxiety. There is nothing pleasurable in OCD, neither the obsessions nor the compulsions. So even if they both manifest with compulsive hoarding behaviours, the motivations for them are very different, and that's also reflected in those genetic risk factors that are quite different between hoarding disorder and OCD.
This is covered in mold.
It might be a little bit moldy because I don't have a freezer.
So you're gonna eat moldy bread?
No, I'm gonna pick the mold up.
Much better.
Starting to hit her anxiety.
That's not... I've dealt with it before with that same thing. It's like, it just picked the mold off, throw it away. just throw it away. It's not worth it because mold is actually, so you have a plant, right? And your plant blooms every spring. It produces these gorgeous flowers. Think of that, how mold works on food. What you're seeing is basically, you're not seeing the root system, you're seeing the flowering portion of the fungus when you see mold on food. It's already infiltrated the food. What you're seeing is the flowering portion. It doesn't mean you can cut that part out and it's good. No, 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 no. The whole thing is bad. Get rid of it. I cannot tell you how many times I've had food poisoning. And like, if anything starts going off, I really don't have a sense of smell. And because of COVID last year, I don't have much of a sense of taste either, which sucks. I still do. I can taste fruit just fine for the most part, but there are some things I just can't taste very well anymore, which is a bummer. But when it comes to food, especially if it has mold on it, throw it out. If it's starting to go off with like carrots and stuff that might not mold, like to the point where you think if they get kind of like bendy and stuff, throw them out. If something looks like it's going off and you can't smell, like I can't smell, throw it out. It is not worth keeping. I have literally snuck things into the trash I'm cleaning for people because they will want to keep it even though the whole thing's bad. Just throw it out. I will admit I've thrown things out that probably aren't even bad just because I get a little paranoid. But there is a point, like, because I'm very obsessive over my fridge and the way it looks on the inside and outside, especially. I can wonder why. So I don't like I get freaked out if my fridge is too empty, like if there's barely anything in it, but the same goes if it's too full, like if there's too many even fresh groceries, like everything may have just been bought that day, there's too much in it, I kind of freak out as well. On days like that, especially for like if it's a lot of like fresh produce, I'm just like, okay, what can I make with all this right now? What can I cook? What can I do to cook all this down? And so I just I've literally spent time where I'm just like, I'm baking so much stuff. And then it's like, okay, so it kind of like, because even if you put that stuff back in the fridge, it's going to be a less amount than the ingredients take up. And it settles my brain. It settles my brain better. I don't know, it makes me feel better. I just don't like having a lot of stuff in the house and having stuff potentially feel like it's going off. I'm just like, I don't really question it. It just goes in the trash. I have learned that, like, I used to think you put tomatoes I thought you always put tomatoes in the fridge, and I've learned you don't do that. That is a thing that took me forever to learn. And I was like, yeah, I was like, man, they taste so much better when they're not French, because tomatoes don't need to be refrigerated if you're going to use them. Like, as long as they're not going bad, because then you should just chuck them. But tomatoes don't have to be refrigerated. Don't necessarily put them out in the sun, but I just leave them on the counter in a little cage because I have to, because otherwise the cat will steal them. I put them in a little cage, and then I can just pick them out and wash them and then put them in my salad or whatever it is that I have that day. Usually it's an egg sandwich. I love tomatoes on an egg sandwich. Egg sandwiches are so good.
The hoarder in her is coming out.
Just some of that stuff.
That's a weird way the hoarder in her is coming out.
Some of it is expired, yes. Most of it probably is.
Shanna?
Having the items isn't the source of the anxiety, it's the notion of getting rid of them.
Yep.
All of this stuff seems to spark joy. This is where cognitive behavioural therapy can be really good, both at trying to formulate exactly where the anxiety is, by mapping out how thoughts, the feelings, the physical sensations and behaviours all link into one another, because that means you can then cater your treatment, usually either targeting the thought patterns directly or targeting the behaviours that in turn hopefully will start to entrain more helpful thought patterns.
I sense that you're angry.
Yo.
Tell me what you're angry about.
My mom died of cancer in this hellhole, and no one cared till now.
He felt like he had tried to help Shanna for years. He was angry with Nola, feeling like she hadn't done anything to help.
Nola could have said, hey, the house is getting dirty. Let's do something about it.
She's the one that helped me get the...
I understand his anger completely as someone who came from a family that didn't care to know. Like, I know they knew something was up. I know they didn't know the extent of the hoarding. I know my mom didn't talk about it, obviously. Again, isolation is a huge factor here, but I would have had, for a while, especially up until my brother left, I would have had nowhere to go. And then when he left, I did have the option to leave with him, but I was also worried about my mom because then she wouldn't have anyone there to look after her. And I didn't want to leave her alone in there, especially after some things she had said. You know, to me as a child, a mother telling a child certain things that it's just like, yeah, she can't be left alone by herself. I don't want her left alone to her own devices. And to be like, there's a sense of shame too, I think family members feel, so they'll avoid situations and then they'll, clean up, and it's just they don't see a problem with it. It's hard to describe because there's anger. It's like, well, people will be like, oh, we can get help now. I know for some people going on the show, and it's usually not the Hoarder, for some people it's about being on TV, which I think is weird. I didn't have another option because I didn't have money. If I had money, I would have got my mom the help she deserved without having to display it to national TV. But I didn't have that luxury. So I was also in college. So the TV is where it went, and I didn't really think I didn't think they would take our case. I reached out with some hope, but it was mostly like a joke. So I was like, haha, it'd be really cool, but also like my mom really needs help. But I was like, there's no way they're gonna take your case. Like, there's gotta be tons of people out there with, sad stories and everything. But then they did take our case, which is like, was really nice to have my mom have, like, they gave her a new bed, and my brother and I were able to get her a new fridge and have her place stay clean probably a little bit longer than most of the Hoarders on the show, I imagine, keep their places clean. Ultimately, obviously, she did fade back because she stopped going to therapy after a few months, and then she lapsed right back into the same stuff she was doing, and that's where the problems come from. It's they don't accept therapy or put in the work, because you can't just you have to put in work with therapy. It's not just going and you're going to be fixed. It's a long-term thing. It's kind of brutal. It's like, and you have to put forward the work yourself.
This is almost like a family therapy approach. We need a greater availability of family therapy in general for mental disorders, because pretty much every single mental illness that I can think of has a impact on family. And
I still don't think so. My mom's never apologized to me for I still don't think she understands just how badly living in those environments affected me. She doesn't really think that my health issues are caused by that. She certainly doesn't know about my mental stuff with it, because as much as I love my mother, sometimes being around her feels like I'm going to have like a horrible panic attack and I need to get out of there. It's like, I love her, but it's hard to be around her sometimes or have her over. So that's why it's like it's better to be in public where, I don't have to see her put a tissue down on my counter and stuff, because just that little bit is enough to be like, spark something in my brain that's like, we're panicking now, we're panicking. It's like we're going into full-fledged, heart rate's 180, like it's just like, nope, it's like, stop it, you're gonna lose hearing, like you're gonna have the tinnitus ringing in your ears, and it's just like, nope, don't do that. So that's why public's always been easier to, be with her, and like, or I'm in control, so like try to take, back when my car wasn't broken down, take my car to a place I choose because it's easier that way. And then like, or have dinner and stuff where it's in a public space, so it doesn't bother me as much when she does things.
Family have an impact on it. And there's really good evidence for family therapy in depression, anxiety, eating disorders, schizophrenia, but people think it's too costly. Don't know. I've never quite understood why we don't make it more widely available.
But she didn't want it. She refused it. So what could you do about it?
I didn't see anybody try.
It's a good point, though.
No one's done. I'm the only person that's offered to help clean this place before.
What can you do if that person refuses?
Yeah.
Very difficult. In the UK, we have the Mental Health Act. Can't really foresee a situation where that could be used to section somebody on the grounds of hoarding disorder, because at the end of the day, the treatment is long-term psychological therapy. Therapy needs willed engagement. You don't have to be completely insightful, because therapy is designed to help improve your insight, but you need to have enough to at least think that maybe sitting in the room and talking about it with a professional is a sensible idea.
And I'm going to go ahead and eat some of the contaminated food, and then the party's over. Because I have to get it. Because when somebody goes on
she wants one last hurrah.
They want to get high one last time. The party ends for me tomorrow.
With everything that we've learned now about different thought patterns driving...
She's gonna eat. I mean, I can't. I'm still shocked only because like my mom did something similar. They didn't show it. I don't remember them showing it when you know what? I feel I just watched that last year in the summer when I recorded it, and I'm like, I think they talked about it. They didn't show it, and she did it also while they were there during like the 5 days of filming. But like, cause she had so many cups, and with my mom, I don't think she really thought about it. I feel like this lady thought about it a lot more. It just seems like it, but my mom didn't think about it. She would just grab a cup and drink something because that's what she kept cups everywhere. And a lot of times they had multiple and that would make her sick. And there's times where I'm like, does my mom have like being able to live like this? Does she have an immune system of steel, or at least used to, because she's had some illnesses now. But she never got sick except for like, yeah, she had food poisoning, but then even after a while, she didn't get sick at all. So I'm like, she had to have had an immune system of steel. Same with my brother. My brother must have had a fabulous immune system. I feel like to a point I must have, because yeah, I do have a lot of issues, but I don't get traditionally sick. Like I never run fevers. Not that I don't get sick, but I don't run fevers. I've ran a fever for strep throat and that was it. Like, so it's like, do I have like, I have problems, but is my immune system able to fight off colds really well? Like, I feel like my immune system's overreactive, if anything, because of my allergies and other problems, but I feel like I fight off colds really quickly, and COVID sucked, but I didn't have a lot of traditional symptoms. I had a lot of pain with it, but that's why I didn't think it was COVID, because I didn't cough, or like I spent some time coughing after like a week of having it, but then it was like very little coughing, not much at all. And I'm just like, most people have like fevers with COVID and all this other stuff. But not me. So I'm like, maybe I have a really good immune system. Maybe it's just shit. I was sick a lot in the Horde, but not so much when I got out of the Horde for a while there. Like I had some health issues, but for the most part, I didn't have any illnesses for a long time. Like no colds or anything.
This hoarding behavior, are we starting to see why hoarding disorder is distinct from OCD? OCD, there is no pleasure whatsoever. Here, she's getting something out of it. The behavior is in keeping with her values and her core beliefs, whether those are rationalized and normalized beliefs or not. This behavior creates pleasure.
Whereas my mom kept stuff because it made her feel good to keep it, because what if I need it later?
Pleasure rather than being
That's what her mentality
purely
was.
to try and ward off some anxiety brought on by an obsessive thought pattern. She wants one last hurrah.
You guys are only going to be here a couple days, and then you're going to leave like you've done your job or taken care of the problem, and you haven't. You've done two rooms, and you've talked to Linda a little bit.
The daughter-in-law's there, and she is just going off on us.
She has a big problem here that you guys are going to help with. Are you a professional in this? Have you ever done this before?
Yeah, for 17 years.
So
I go around the country training people on hoarding. Yeah.
Okay.
We clean out entire houses all the time.
How do you do it?
It's up to the hoarder. We're trying to work with Linda through the process so she doesn't go back to this hoarding situation as soon as we're gone. If Debbie wants a clean house, she should have come here and done it herself before we arrived.
Speaking of the last hurrah, this interaction reminds me of something I commonly see when addiction is the core complaint, where families might bring people in and they just go to professionals. They just need some help. You just need to help them. Almost hoping that we can just detain people in hospital and there is an equivalent of an antipsychotic that we can just force people to have that will resolve the condition. It reflects the fear and the helplessness that so many family members are feeling. And that can easily get taken out on professionals around them when you can't immediately soothe that, because we can't do it for people. We can open the door and support people once they walk through. And know I'm like a broken record, but I go back, there has to be some degree of willed engagement. So when he says it's up to the hoarder, to an extent he's right.
There's a really, so I described to how I describe like how when I go into a panic mode, I kind of call it like, we've come to call it Silent Hill vision, because it's not obviously that you're not seeing things, but to me, like feeling like the walls are closing in and feeling like I'm seeing dirt in places where I'm not. It's like when I start getting into like my big panic attacks and stuff, I have a prone to see the world like in a much dirt. It's like having a filter on, but like a really dirty filter. It's like you're seeing dirt even if there's not dirt there. So I was always like, for a premise, because they've never done this before, but other than the remake, it doesn't seem like it's going good places. I think it'd be a really cool premise for Silent Hill to make a game that, from the perspective of like, they have all these people and they're looking for fresh, have someone who has like hoarding disorder, or someone who lived with someone who had hoarding disorder, like a child. It's because there's so many out there. There's so many viewpoints you could talk to people. It's such a silent, like the psychological stuff behind it, especially like the survivors of it, would make, I feel like, such a good game. You could come up with such cool like environments and like really describe the trauma. And I feel like the personality behind that person and the monsters, it would be such a cool idea, I feel like, and so new, like such like what they're looking for. Then, because of like, I feel like, I don't know, part of the thing is like they're having trauma that maybe is more relatable to the general population. People understand someone with cancer, like in Silent Hill 2, where he essentially kills his wife. He smothers her because she's been suffering with presumably it's illness. I think it was, I don't know if they outright say cancer, but it pretty much all doors lead to cancer with what she was suffering with. And she was terminal. And it's like, you look at other Silent Hills and they have like slightly different topics, but I do feel like this would be a little bit more different for them as a target. Like, hey, make this person like a survivor of hoarder or a hoarder themselves, and what looks bad, what looks worse to them, what is their hell, what is their purgatory, what are the monsters they see every day. I think that would be so cool of an idea.
Excuse us just a minute. Debbie, relax, all right? Linda is the problem. She's not allowing stuff to be thrown away.
Troy, have you seen this?
Deb, do not talk to me like that. I've been here all day. I have seen this.
We're doing everything that Linda's letting us do at this point, and for her to show up this late in the game and try to direct the show, sorry, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, also showing up late. I don't. Are those siblings then? My brother and I never argued during the filming. We don't argue a lot in general, though. Because we're both the same mindset. We're just like, let's get it done. We're like, let's clean this hellhole. Something about, or like, let other, especially the fridge, because I'm like, well, if it's going to be on TV anyway, then they need to get a good shot of this fridge, because I lived with this fucking thing and it gives me nightmares. It still gives me nightmares. So yeah, it's like, yeah, get example of like my mom's worst fridge by looking at this one.
Everybody needs to step back, reflect a bit, don't get caught up in a power play between professionals and family. Nobody wins.
My greatest concern is what's going to happen when we leave.
Yeah. Cognitive behavioural therapy is the first-line treatment. Medication don't work. There's no evidence for that in hoarding disorder, though please keep an eye out for those comorbidities that could benefit from treatment. Comorbid depression and OCD and anxiety disorders, for example. The CBT techniques used are usually more cognitive ones than behavioural ones, focusing on the rationalisation and the normalisation of this behaviour, and using techniques like motivational interviewing to try and overcome these. We talked about that particular type of therapy when we watched Euphoria. It's widely used in addiction. We also need to address the patterns of attachment that people have put to these items that they're accumulating and the sort of sentimentality that people hold towards them. The stories on here, pretty extreme, but I hope going through this video has helped us to try and understand this condition a little bit more, and where the mental health aspect sits in what is a very real disorder of hoarding disorder. But
yeah, that was, honestly, that was really enlightening. I'm curious, I'm assuming that's the only thing he did for like Hoarders, is essentially. I don't know what he has for videos, because I don't know. Okay, so he's like does TV shows in general. It's not just that one. Looks like Always Sunny. Always Sunny, something else, ain't it? Dexter. So he's just done The Last of Us. These are some of these are, I mean, simple, but also a couple of them, like the wild thumbnail of the Marge with her eyes bulging out. Okay, so he just reacts to a lot of different like shows and movies. Can we go back one, please? Thank you. I don't know if I could consider that like a normal person, how normal people react to hoarding. Because he's a doctor, but I clicked on it because I'm like, oh, that interesting to see from his perspective as a psychiatrist. I don't know. I think these other ones are probably just normal YouTubers. Like I said, I skipped around this one for the tiny bit I did see it. I think I'm gonna be real honest. Like, I don't know who any of these are. Oh yeah, there. We don't have to look at that one. That's a terrible thumbnail. Does Cinnamon Toast Ken? Because he looks like he appeared a couple times. Does he only do hoarding videos? It really feels that way, huh? I'm gonna click. Okay, so no, obviously that's not. I thought maybe because he seems to have covered several, but then I see a bunch of other ones too. So no, it's not just what the fuck? Okay. It's not just hoarding, it's a lot of things. Serial kilogram is a hell of a thumbnail, that's for sure. Honestly, these are fairly simple. I'm not seeing it. Maybe he hasn't done, I didn't check the dates, but I don't know. It doesn't look like maybe he has actually done anything with that in a while. Jesus, he's a huge YouTuber. 4.8 million, good lord. Okay, so he does a lot of looks like older. Oh no, he did MILF Manor. That's not that old. Man, I watched that. That was wild. MILF Manor was something else. I have to move. I have to get more comfy. Hoarders bearing, is that a playlist? Or just, that's a playlist. They ate the walls. How many did you, okay, 10 videos. That's actually not that many. A lot of these are older, yeah. The trashiest episode of Hoarders. So he did that many. It looks like that one. Damn. Wait, is there who? I know there's definitely more people who hoarded trash. Like, that doesn't surprise me at all. I'm curious what they consider the trashiest episode of Hoarders, though, because have you watched a ton of Hoarders? Like, you have 10 episodes, so you've watched a fair bit, but like 10 episodes.
I need to feel better about myself.
10 episodes, I feel like isn't all that much. Of course, he's gonna probably.
So it's time to watch more Hoarders. This time it is Farmer's anger explodes on family and cleanup crew. Hooray. Exactly what we need. We need someone getting some help and they just explode on everyone. Yes. What's going on? All right. First off, where's the barn? This is not the barn. If we're talking about a farmer, this is the farm. This is the trailer park, okay? I've seen this. This is just the trailer park.
Cute
this is the
cat ears on his headset.
they're cooking meth out here. I've seen this.
I'm Hannah, and I'm a cotton-picking ridge runner, stomp jumper.
Rootin' tootin' howdy doody.
That was an accent for sure.
Well, she
oh
must
my
be a
god.
farmer. She's got that bicep right there, man.
Look at that flexing.
That flex, yeah. That's definitely just raw farmer power right there.
You already know. Damn proud of it. I raise chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys, goats, and sheep.
All right, I'm coming now.
She's pushing it with a.
I think she's pushing that wheelchair because I've had, again, family. Sometimes they use it not just to transport goods, but to transport themselves because they need that little bit of leverage to walk better.
In the feed with a wheelchair, Dane.
And then it can transport stuff
Where's
at the same
all
time.
her crops, though? She's a farmer. Where's her plants that she was growing.
You don't.
Is she a rancher? She have a ranch? Is that what they meant? The hoarder ranch.
I mean, you can still call it a farm and not have plants growing.
Lawanda, I'll slap you. You don't listen.
Lawanda, I tell you.
Did she just slap her goat?
God dang it.
With the Tide.
You did not just slap your goat.
Right. When you get Lawanda, you get Tide Pods today.
It's almost 4.5 acres, and so I guess you would count it.
I think that they have a little bit too much energy for my taste, but again, it's gonna be that YouTuber energy. I don't feel like I bring a lot of energy to like videos and streams. I'm a fairly chill person, or I'm shaking like a chihuahua because I'm excited and I'm trying to contain it, right? That's oh, that dog is cute. Look at him blepping. But they have I don't expect everyone to be nice, obviously. I think most people aren't going to be nice about these situations. They don't understand it. They can try to be sympathetic, but a lot of people aren't going to understand the extent of the mental health issues and also why things are happening, like a psychologist did, or people who've been through it. So a lot of people are just going to make fun of it, which, especially when you've lived through it like I do, I get through it some days just because I like to think about it in meme format, because that can help. Making jokes about it can, I don't know, it helps, drown out the demons instead of going just like, oh yeah.
A little farm.
A whopping 4.5 acres, her little farm. She lives out in the country, so 4 acres is like a front yard. So she's got a bunch of animals out in her front yard. Okay, gotcha. The open space on Hannah's farm ends at the front door of her house.
Is it just did she only hoard the inside? Is she able to take care of the outside? Because if so, wow.
No, everything's on the inside. Good Lord, here we go. That's a nice refrigerator she's got, though.
She keeps... I am surprised the fridge isn't... I want to see the inside of it, but like the outside, I'm surprised there's not much on it. That baffles me.
The water dispenser and everything on there.
Yeah, boy.
Is it usable?
God, this stuff has been here for a long time.
What's the inside look like?
Cobwebs and stuff and the mold on the wall.
Let me judge people based on the inside of their fridge. I know how everyone does like bigger streamers and YouTube do those things where it's like, oh, people are going to submit their rooms, like pictures or small videos, and we're going to go through them on stream after a moderator has gone through them, because you never know. And I'm like, I want that, but I want to see people's like fridges. Let me see the inside of your fridge. Let me judge, and maybe outside too. Let me judge. I'm sure I know at least one streamer has done that, but I've only seen one person judge the inside of people's fridges. Let me be that person. Let me see your fridge.
Bed sideways? What is that?
That's like a drawer or the bottom of that.
Yeah. A dresser?
I don't know. I think it's like I think it's a drawer, like the inside of it, and that's like the front of it over here. But
it does look like a really dusty drawer
from like the 80s. Yeah.
The luggage from the 70s.
This stuff has been here for a long time. So this is not like she's just going and actively gathering things constantly. This is just the accumulation over many, many years. Yeah. Okay.
Because she definitely has...
Someone's poor toys stuffed in his legs are hanging out.
Don't throw away anything that I can use later. I call it keeping what you need to by gosh, and when you don't have money to go buy it later.
By gosh, and she's just keeping what she needs.
Really hard to understand her. I really struggle with like heavy accents, but I think I'm doing an okay job understanding the woman. They're obviously like much louder than the show, which is fine. It's just she has a very heavy accent. But again, she has attachment to those because she has that same mentality. What if I can use it later? And that will make a very small problem into a large problem. Like it can do it very quickly.
Man, she just has like seed and bags and stuff. There's like one in every room of like either cat food or dog food or seed or it's just everywhere. It's like, I need to feed my chickens. Let me go to the kitchen. Yeah. I need to feed my cat. Let me go back to my bedroom. And that's when it became so full, she was forced to move into a single wide trailer on her property. Oh, so she moved out of her house. All right, so she lived over here.
Is her trailer
became
hoarded?
so full of junk, she moved over here.
Her trailer's hoarded.
Mom's been living in the single wide for about 2 years now with chickens.
Oh my God.
She lives in there with the chickens.
About 50 head.
Dude, look at...
That's not sanitary for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, like this is so sad. They're just stuck in
bad
tubs.
for your health.
Wow. Like this is...
Also... this screams animal cruelty to me because chickens shouldn't be kept in crates like that. But I also know factory farms aren't like a third to the stills.
I thought she's like taking care of them. Maybe they're like the young ones and she can't let them go outside yet because the dog will get them or something. They're just all on top of each other. There's no room.
That's what was happening last night.
Is this
fighting? Do you see that? Wound up killing you.
I mean, chickens die kind of easily, so like if they're fighting, but that. How long has that one been dead? Because you just pulled it out like. Did it go rigorous?
She pulls out a dead chicken from one of them because they were fighting with it.
Looks like he'd been dead.
Looks like it might have been dead for a while.
Yeah, for a bit.
Oh, buddy, there's all the poop and the
She's
flies.
got chicken manure all over.
Dude, chickens stink.
Yeah, they do.
Like chickens.
I always thought like if I was allowed to have chickens that I would, so I could have fresh eggs and stuff, but like they're gross, and I'm a germaphobe, so I'm like it probably wouldn't be a good idea. I like chickens from afar.
Stink, and her house has to be.
Obviously, I wouldn't keep them in my house. They'd have their own little like indoor hen hut, but because you can't have roosters in the city. But
oh, it's a single wide too. So
she's got dead animals and just chicken crap everywhere. Where does she sleep?
Yeah, where does she sleep?
The single wild's worse. The single wild's worse than the house was.
Does she sleep
this
on top of the
literal
trash?
Like this is just empty bottles, Diet Coke.
Mom does not have heat in the single wide. She doesn't have anything to cook on but a hot plate. Mom can't even get to her kitchen sink.
I was about to say, look, she's doing all right though. She's out there just getting it done still.
She's munching.
With another freezing winter approaching, Hannah must get her home cleaned out so she can move to a safer location. This lady's been living out here for like 80 years. And now they're like all of a sudden like, there's going to be a cold winter. She might not survive.
Now we care.
Yeah.
I'm curious how much the expenses for the show are because, yeah, they clean your house out. But how much do they make? Did they like gain as opposed to like how much did everything cost to like film and then clean out the houses? And I assume they provide therapy for 6 months for each person, which isn't going to be good enough in all honesty, but they can, I know a show can only do so much, but people come here for a cry of help. I don't believe most of these people wanted to be on TV in the first place, but I do a lot of people I think came to the show with good intentions, with wanting to help their loved ones, or maybe they were the hoarder and they really wanted to have, you know, some sort of help and want to change, even though it's extremely difficult. And I'm curious, could the show have helped more? Could they have provided more resources for the hoarder, for the people affected directly by their hoard? Was that even a feasibility, or did they spend so much on the show that they really didn't have a whole lot? I kind of think they probably did have, they could have done more, but because let's be honest, it's like, yeah, it's cleaning out the house is one thing that's not going to do as much. It's a lot of these people do need help professionally with a psychologist.
Back into my house where I don't freeze my behaggies off all winter long.
They need to have an accountability buddy.
Freeze her behaggies off.
My name is Becky, and I'm Hannah's oldest daughter.
It's the oldest daughter. None of these people have teeth.
No.
All their teeth are gone. I mean, I'm sure they had like a fantastically, you know, hygienic upbringing.
Yeah, on the big farm.
Animals are suffering, but I can't sit there and tell Mom that they're suffering.
She's trying to feed them. She just pours the food on top of them because there's no room.
Because if I tell her
that's probably
that,
why the one died, because like it had food all over it. There's like, get him!
Oh, they just pecked him to death. Yeah, that's why they fought.
then she's gonna get mad at me and tell me no, they're not suffering.
The animals are being more than tortured. They're not having a life.
So even the kids are like, yeah, she is torturing these animals. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
They're all in okay shape as far as I know.
Oh God, that poor turkey.
There's something wrong with them. It's more than I know about.
You know, I tell you, I didn't know that they're sick. You know, so whatever. Well,
keep them all down there in their tubs.
The way she treated us kids, and I can't stand that.
She treats the animals the same way she treats the kids. Ooh. Ooh.
But she draws the line with the animals.
The cops were called.
I was 16 years old when the state of Illinois removed us.
So she lost the kids.
And just kept on trucking?
And just replaced them with chickens, I guess.
And, yeah, and goats and whatever else.
I mean, I hate for any kid to have to go in the system, but at least they got out of that situation because that looks awful.
I only tolerate her because she is my mother.
Only tolerate her because she's your mom? Ooh!
I mean, I feel like that's
I don't have to punish her. God.
I feel like that's going to be the case with a lot of kids of hoarders. Wait,
Mom, ooh!
What'd you say?
Yeah.
I don't have to punish her. God will.
Why I don't have to punish her, God will? That is a wild statement. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised that they come from a religious background. I'm just gonna leave it at that too, but it's good. God ain't gonna give you back your childhood. And if you feel like you want to punish her, then maybe don't be around her. Like, if I don't know, does she ever enjoy being around her mother after that at all? Because I think family relationships are very complicated and hard to put into words.
God.
Boy, she's wanting revenge.
Oh, my eye did a weird thing.
Yeah, she does. I bet watching them come in clean.
I don't wish revenge on my mother. That I can see why some people might, but I don't.
Her mom's house is gonna give her a lot of joy. No, don't throw away any of my stuff.
The sweet revenge.
Take that.
I had 16 kids and 10 of them are still living.
That's a wait. How old are you? That is a wild statement. She had 10 kids, or so. She said she had. Did she say she had 16 kids? Do I need to I know she has a heavy accent and all, but I hear that right? She has 16 kids and only 10 of them are living. She lost 6 of her kids are gone. Like deceased. Is that what? I need to hear this again.
16 kids and 10 of them are still living.
That's.
I don't. Nah.
Is that flex?
I don't. I feel like maybe she was upset, but also like, look at me. I raised some living ones still. Were their demises part of your hoard? Because regardless of whether you have a horrible problem or not, that is unacceptable. It was unacceptable for my mom to subject my brother and I to hoarding conditions. I understand my mom has a problem. I understand this lady does, but that's criminal if they died as a result from anything to do with her hoarding stuff.
It's not real, right?
10 of her 16 kids are still alive, so she's doing. What happened to them? What happened to the ones that didn't make it?
They don't want to have nothing to do with me, fine. If they do, fine. I was living before they was born, and I'll live till I die.
What is it?
What is that kind of
All right.
reaction?
It's very apparent this lady's working on about like a brain cell and a half.
Yeah.
Things she's saying, like, I don't know, is that her clap back? I was living before they were alive, and I'll live until I'm dead.
It's a very dangerous mindset because I feel like a lot of boomers, especially, have, and like Gen X's have that kind of mentality or something extremely similar. You also see it in a lot of times of people who are at or below the poverty level, who maybe were lucky to complete high school, or maybe they didn't complete high school. You'll see that a lot of times, and it's staggering. As one of the few people to go to college in my family, yeah, it was I had like my worldview shifted when I went to college. Okay, I learned culture. It doesn't help that I wasn't really exposed to the internet or much else until I went to college. I was very sheltered, not using that way in a light way. I was very isolated, so I didn't experience a lot of things until college.
Yeah. So was every human ever.
Not me, Dane. I'm immortal. I haven't died yet. I'm going to live forever. Take her chickens away, too. Take her chickens away. After her kids were taken away from her at 83, she started
83?
to hoard things and animals.
Who in the hell ever heard of hoarding an animal?
Wait, so were your kids were you not hoarding when you had those kids? Did you only start hoarding after you lost your kids? Because like that would be the trauma that sparked that. But why were your kids taken away? Like what? Yeah. What sparked that? Like, I have a lot of questions,
animals.
which probably won't be
Who in the hell
answered.
ever heard of hoarding an animal?
I know reality shows can do cuts to make people seem like they're a very different type of person, but I do feel like here this is like genuinely her character, and she seems very stubborn and not very cultured. I don't know if she's ever really traversed far outside where she lives. It doesn't seem like she's well traveled or obviously isolated. She's a hoarder and undereducated as well. I mean, I guess the 16 kids explains all that too.
Never heard of it, Dane.
Yeah.
You can't hoard an animal. An animal will go where they damn well please.
Yeah, they'll just go wherever they want.
Look how far they're going. They're going all the way from home.
I can't.
Yuck.
I can't listen to the.
I give up on the animals. I don't understand that.
Yeah, now nobody understands this lady. This lady is out in her own universe somewhere to where she's not hoarding all these animals. They can just go wherever they want. It just happens to be her farm/ranch.
I have a assumption this lady was never raised in a very good environment. It was probably her parents are probably very harsh. And that's probably what contributed to a lot of what she says and does.
In front of her double wad.
Yeah, and
Probably fairly traumatizing. I'm betting her parents used physical force on her as a child. Like not like spankings and stuff, like violence, as a way of reinforcing rules. And a lot of people experience that who are older because that was just accepted, and it's not. It does things like this to people. They don't realize it becomes a problem.
I can't see.
Trauma perpetuates trauma, and it doesn't just because you were traumatized, you need help, but that does not justify you traumatizing another person. And that's when I talk about my mom's episode, it's the same way with her. It's like, I understand she has trauma. It doesn't justify her causing me trauma, but I understand that she still needs help. She's still a human being.
I don't live like this anymore.
Yeah, you got the duality here of the daughters too. Like this one's like, I'm so sad. She's still got her teeth though, so she's like, oh, I love my mom, and the other one's like, she's gonna burn in hell.
I can't even look at her.
All right, so
it's kind of, I get why it's kind of mean to like go by that. It's like, one, they probably don't have very good access to healthcare, dental, because apparently that's different. I don't have a lot of good there. Look at how she's living. She's probably not keeping up with things. Like she's clearly not taking very good health care of herself.
So the professionals show up and Hannah refuses.
That's one thing though my mom was really obsessed about, was her brushing her teeth. Like I am too. Like I do that obviously, but like my mom's sense of hygiene was really, really skewed. Like at least she brushed her teeth like religiously.
To show Dr. Zasio the trailer she's been living in. She's like, no, you're not looking. No, you can't see it. At least she's ashamed to some extent.
To some.
Hannah is an angry woman, and she wasn't even interested in walking me around and showing me the things that were troubling her.
I don't want to keep just dogging on this lady, but she reminds me of like a Resident Evil bad guy or something, the way she like shambles down the hallways. She's like,
yeah.
Come get you.
And
God, I hate that he's not wrong. It's mean, but
the setting kind of looks Resident Evil setting, you know? It's just kind of like gross and get me out.
So
it's a hoarder
mom
house.
refuses to show her around, but one of the daughters says she'll do it.
When I walked in the trailer, I was almost speechless.
I bet she was. It stinks. I know it stinks. It's got to
They
be
all
just freaking
hoarder
awful.
homes will
Oh, they got
probably
the little-
smell.
the little reindeer on the wall. Oh, but the ones are duct tape holding the. What she got in there?
Those might be broken.
There's a rat in there.
There's duct tape on that too.
She might be keeping the duct tape because they might be broken. It might be the only way to keep them shut is to duct tape them, or they're filled to the brim. But it might be duct tape to keep them shut because she has animals. She doesn't recognize she has a
Duct tape and
problem.
Doors and stuff closed.
There's chickens all in these containers.
It's very wild to see this from like a psychologist point of view, to hear to like a big YouTuber point of view.
The air quality was overwhelming.
There we go. That's it. That's a nice way to say it freaking stunk in there. The air quality.
I couldn't breathe very good.
And so they're watching her deterioration from afar.
Dan, what do you think she's drinking?
We're gonna just, I don't want to see
The
her.
longer this episode goes, the more she's like a monster.
Yeah.
Drinking like the sludge, like.
It looks like iced coffee, but yeah, it's from a mason jar, and there's no way of knowing if that was clean
Okay, so
beforehand.
Hannah has agreed to get help to clean out her hoarded home so she can move out of her single wide. Yeah, they keep saying that. This is like the 5th cut we've had of them.
Nothing gets thrown into the dump trucks unless I tell them to.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, she's running the show. Ain't nobody throwing the stuff away. They got the animal experts coming in though.
I've worked with livestock before Yuns was ever born.
Hannah is very comfortable with who she is.
I'm surprised animal control was not out here because animals are involved.
I think
she's older than y'all, so she knows better.
Yeah,
I've been keeping them in tubs. Like, they have like a little barn here, and they're going through it, and they're just like, man, it's just as gross as everything else is around here.
we got a bunch of guys with a bunch of trucks that are free. That's why I want
There ain't nothing going out of here.
I'm telling you, half of this is true.
I don't care.
I'm surprised he's not wearing gloves right now. That's what's getting me the most. His mask is off, which is because he's talking with the camera there, and you wouldn't be able to hear him otherwise, but he's not wearing gloves, and he's touching shit.
What you're telling me, I'm telling you.
Dude, she don't care. She owns this place. It's shit hers. You ain't gonna tell her no. She ain't clean this up.
Ain't no to go nowhere. No.
Y'all came down here to help me, and I don't want y'all to help me. I'm getting rid of all my wire, all my pallets. I need them.
The goal was to give your goats more space. You're saying this is not the way to do it.
No, that stuff stays there.
What about if we just reshuffled it to here?
No,
and here?
I said it stays there. How many times I have to tell you that?
There's beer cans just sitting around on top of stuff, but that's gotta stay just like that.
Stays right where it is. She go. But the team still has to confront her about all her injured animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's that gonna go?
Not
I'll
well.
sue every damn one of you.
You know, Hannah, that's
Now,
your
by
right.
God, there's no damn sense of you getting out here, sticking your damn nose in my business. It's none of your business.
She's gonna sue everybody.
Or
I
saving
doubt
the
she can afford a
animals.
lawyer. I
How
doubt she can
dare-
afford a lawyer. All
You're
right.
right. You're right. How dare you save my chickens? They're in there fighting to the death right now. I'm gonna crown
I'm
one.
making them stronger. She don't know what she's doing. She
Damn bull for years. Somebody else got their damn nose stuck where they got no business.
And my uncle had a ranch. I've taken care of
I
animals.
feel like
this lady has no idea.
she's just
what
having a
she's doing.
breakdown on TV, which
Oh, no.
happens on
What's
Hoarders a
going
lot.
on? So the team decides to leave her alone to cool down. At the same time, her daughter Becky busts. Is this the mad daughter? I hope so. I hope the mad daughter shows up. Because they're never going to get anything done if they just have to keep waiting for her to calm down over every decision.
Right.
But maybe that's part of the.
I had to, like, during the filming, my mom I'd have to make sure she got up in the morning and, like, get there, like, before the crew is, like, bugging her just because she's going to be really unhappy. Yelling doesn't work. Having a firm hand can, but not yelling. And sometimes a gentle hand can be even I know that can be the hardest thing when you're on the other side of it, is just like trying to practice like that gentleness in your voice and how you're standing and stuff. Because a lot of times you're invading their space. They're going to get hostile. You cannot meet hostility with hostility. You don't get anything done. You're just butting heads.
A plan, like yeah. Well, I'll take the money to be on the show, but I'll also just kick up a big stink the whole time, so I just get the money.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Wait, what?
But I'll also just kick up a big stick plan, you know.
Is
Like,
it 'cause it's- suing.
I'll take the money to be on the show, but I'll also just kick up a big stink the whole time, so I don't.
I'll take the money. He's talking weird. Does he think the people on Hoarders get paid?
Yeah. Well, I'll take the money to be on the show, but I'll also just kick up a big stink the whole time, so I just get the money.
So he thinks that you get paid to be on the show. You do not.
Whoa, don't start with me. Don't start with me. No.
Boy, she ran in like the
Why did you go to swing? Wait, who were you swinging?
Boy, just get the money.
Don't start with me. Don't start with me. No.
Boy, she
kind of getting to this like a lot later because I didn't check the date when this was done, but like I'd have to check his most recent one. Maybe like he's learned, but I don't know if he knows that you don't get paid to be on the show.
She ran in like the Ultimate Warrior. someone playing her entrance music. She's coming down to the ring to throw hands.
Where's my mama? Where's my mama?
I'm not supposed to get phone calls while I'm at work.
Calm down.
And she's upset.
Calm down.
You know she's got heart. No.
Calm down.
She's going on.
I can't understand what is she saying? Like the daughter, I can't understand.
Called her at work. Man, apple don't fall far from the tree. Then I guess.
Yeah.
God, Jesus Christ.
Why? I'm trying to figure out why she's mad still. Because mom.
Did they say? Did she say they called her at work? Because there's no way they did. Because this is all planned in advance, like months.
While I'm at work.
Where's my mama?
Someone playing her entrance music. She's coming down to the ring to throw hands.
What the fuck are you saying?
Where's my mama? Where's my mama?
I'm not supposed to get phone calls while I'm at work.
I'm not supposed to get phone calls while I'm at work.
Calm down.
And she's upset.
Calm down.
You know she's got heart. No.
Calm down.
She's going on.
Okay. Yeah, it is just hard to understand there. I don't understand what she's saying. She's not allowed to have phone calls at work, and you know she's upset. I don't know what exactly she's trying to say here. If they're saying that you need to come out and get phone calls, I know, like to make it seem sometimes that something is what it isn't. Like when my dad showed up, they made a big deal of thinking that, he showed up mysteriously unannounced when my dad was planned to be there. In fact, they weren't actually going to shoot the episode without my dad. I had to convince him to be on the show, and it was a lot of convincing.
She's swinging.
Golly, they called her at work. Man, apple don't fall far from.
I didn't want my dad on the show, to be clear, either. I did not want that. It's just they want family members as if what they can get, the people closest. So my mom's ex-husband, it's like, okay, cool, let's see, let's show him the Hoard and shock him, because my dad had never seen it. It's there's some misconceptions here. Again, they don't know, they weren't on the show, they've probably never worked in reality television. I've been in, Hoarders was the one thing I've been on TV before, but not for anything else that like of this scale. It's always been like, oh yeah, volunteer work, whatever. Like, I'm here to show you this dog. He's really cute and needs a new home. I'm here to show you this cat. He needs it. That was one of those people in the news. But like trying to get animals adopted out, usually large dogs.
Yeah.
By the way, I had to get up at like 4 a.m. to do that. It was so early to get up and do that. And then I did some other like for stuff, fundraisers and stuff for charities.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Why? I'm trying to figure out why she's mad still. Because mom keeps calling her.
She's at work and they're calling her. She don't want to hear about her mom, I guess. Probably. That's probably what the real reason is. That I don't want to hear about her. Just deal with it.
One of the grandchildren was apparently calling Hannah's daughter and saying things that weren't even happening.
Oh.
Well, who would have guessed?
Yeah. Okay. So this is it's devolved into
one of the.
Oh.
Hannah's daughter and saying things of the grand.
Okay, what was going on? I spaced out.
I don't want to hear about her. Just deal with it.
One of the grandchildren was apparently calling Hannah's daughter and saying things that weren't even happening.
I'm not surprised that is the case, because she was probably planned to be there, but she probably showed up a little bit earlier than expected that day, and she was expected at that time, but she's like, oh, they were calling me days prior saying all this stuff's gonna happen, and it's not what's going to happen because there's been misinformation, or families sometimes like drama.
Oh,
well, who would have guessed?
Yeah. Okay. So this is it's devolved into like you said. He said she ran like Jerry Springer. This is what this is turning into. Some random family members over here just instigating for no reason.
Hi, Magnum. We're kind of well into this, but I'm getting hungry again. I guess I should have ate more than just a tiny bit of fried rice. I made fried rice the other day and I had a small amount and I'm like, damn, I'm kind of hungry again. I kind of want to put some gochujang, it's a spicy Korean sauce. Put some of that on it. I just really like that on top. That little bit of a kick. It just makes fried rice elevated to a whole new level. Oh, spicy food's good. But yeah, we're just watching. I got to watch a little bit. I got to watch a psychiatrist or psychologist react to Hoarders episodes and get their take on it, which is very informative. Now I'm watching a more normal person react and see how they react, which of course is extremely insensitive. I'm not surprised by that. A lot of people don't understand. And they're making jokes. I'm not going to lie. I've made jokes, plenty of jokes about my own situation with the Hoard. It helps, like, process what you've dealt with, or in this case what you're seeing. I feel like making jokes can help with that. I'm not saying what this woman is doing is right. Obviously she put her kids in danger when she was little. She's abusing animals, essentially. She's putting them in small cages. That is animal abuse. But she has a problem and it needs to be acknowledged because she is a human being. And maybe charged criminally. I'm not sure. There is a point, it's like there's a point where you're traumatized, there's a person traumatized and they need help, but it does not make it right to subject someone else to that trauma. Trauma does not beget trauma. You don't want that. It's not okay. Yeah, she needs help, but that doesn't make it okay that she passed off her trauma onto her kids. But also, like I was saying this before, but you can't have, when someone is coming off as hostile, which Hoarders oftentimes will, because you're invading their environment, you yourself cannot come off as imposing and as hostile because you're just going to butt heads. You need a firm, but gentle and guiding hand to get you through the way. That's why you have psychologists and psychiatrists. Yes, there's a difference between sympathy and criminal negligence. You can't put your neighbors at risk for some of this stuff, right? Yes, this person, what they're doing, some things are criminal and that needs to be dealt with, but also they're human beings who have usually had something very traumatic happen in their life, which is what caused them to do this chain of events, and that should be understood and they should get help. But also there should be efforts in, counties and countries to make sure that these events that are happening don't happen. A lot of times, not in all cases, but a lot of times you're going to see this in people who are below the poverty line, which was the case in mine. But it's because their resources are threatened and they go through trauma and they've already have a predisposition to this type of behavior, and then they end up falling into hoarding.
Reason.
Everybody's calling me here. I'm not going to deal with my mother getting upset and having a heart attack.
That's probably the one right there.
Who is that?
We found him.
Oh shoot! I don't know.
I will say that face.
But the one right there.
That's him.
That is a face. Like they do a close up. It's just like, yeah, I guess they chose a great place to pause it. That's for sure.
Tim, we found him.
Oh.
I will say he's just like,
oh shoot! I don't know.
Oh god, he could not be wearing just a more generic fucking American shirt.
But I think I'll just step away.
And having a heart attack. She is fine. No, that ain't what I got.
Time out.
Give a what you say.
Time out, Bart.
There's a lot of yelling people. This is so bad for my ears and my brain. Like, oh my god, there's so much noise.
The whole family showing up. There's people out here crawling out of a car. Like, what is going on here?
Happening? None of these people. They show up when the TV crew's here, but none of them show up to help her.
They got the whole trailer park showing up right now. My god.
Yeah.
For the camera crew's safety.
They say that none of these people showed up before, but they're here now that the camera crew is. You don't know that. The show has 22 minutes to explain their situation. That's not going to explain a lifetime of whatever the hell these people went through. Granted, what I'm seeing isn't great because of, also they're hard to understand, honestly, because they're heavy accents, but you don't know that when the show comes out. They're like, oh, you didn't try a different route. There was no other route. There's not much other route for people under the poverty line. And I had tried to clean my house, but having people around when my mother's house is getting cleaned up is, you know, safer for me physically and mentally than doing it alone. Just to get the pictures to submit in Hoarders when I was in there, on the way driving, I like took pictures. I was driving right back to my apartment that day, and I pulled over and threw up in a parking lot because I was so stressed from being in there and disgusted. And some people will like may show up because the episode requires them to be there, otherwise they won't film. And some of them don't want to. They've distanced themselves for a reason. They don't want to be there. Other people have been trying for years, and this is the only way that they did it, whether or not like the hoarder might not want it, but they finally agree to some form of help because they might be like, hey, you might not be getting money out of this, but you might be stressed out from the cleaning, but you can get some free therapy. And a lot of people probably can't even afford healthcare who are asking for this help. I don't think most people would subject themselves to this kind of TV unless they were truly desperate. In my case,
just peace of mind, you know, just their brain cells. They just say go ahead and get out of here because it's gonna just get dumber and dumber as these people keep showing up. Like, we're from the South. We know how this.
I know exactly how this is gonna go.
This is just gonna keep getting worse.
This is what they call a barn burner, literally, though. You know what I mean? Like this.
Every cousin and uncle and niece is gonna show up and be like, "I know what I heard." You know, someone's gonna start fighting each other on the side.
Robin and I were able to stop her, but she still ended up getting in a fight with her brother.
Like a physical fight? Or just like a verbal fight? Neither
she
which
got
is
into a fight with her brother. Oh, she's
Neither
like,
which is
she's
good,
talking about
but
her mom burning in hell now, and she's like over here hugging on her. Oh, mama, they just trying to ruin your life.
She talked about the animals got treated. I don't understand.
This is like the unsympathetic side of Hoarders, and I don't know if it's just this person in general that they're like going and, you know, I mean, yeah, she has
crazy. No, there's nothing to understand here, Dane.
She has some malicious tendencies for sure, but
boggled.
The only thing you need to understand, Dane, is this right here is the extension cord that runs from the other house.
I didn't even see the extension cord. However, are you sure that it runs the other house?
Through the single wide.
This place is gonna burn down. We ain't got to worry about it. Let's pour it. Get the chickens out.
Barn burner.
Everything is going fine until our Mark,
oh, yeah, I knew it. Here we go.
Why fight? I mean, she's had 16 kids supposedly, and 10 of them are alive, which I would love to know more about that. And then she started hoarding after the kids were taken away by like CPS, which I would love to know more about that. Not that we'll get that, just like, so you started hoarding after they were taken away, so they were taken away for a different reason, not the hoarding, which means it leads me to believe there's something really bad like going on. Not that hoarding's bad, but like why did they get taken away is what my questions are. And then why are 6 of your kids deceased? Was like, because I thought maybe that would have been related to the hoard or the way she was treating her kids, but she's not in jail, so I'd assume not.
Dude, I told you, man. I knew it. I didn't have to watch the rest of the episode. I already know.
She should have went.
Yeah, they fucking do. They really do compound.
Looking.
Here's old Aunt Linda out here sitting just smoking and watching, and she's like,
She'll knock the hell out of him and flatten him out.
She go flatten him out, and then I'm only going to have 9 surviving kids out of my 16.
Oh my God.
This family is probably the largest family I've ever seen. And it is by far the most dysfunctional family I have.
Golly, man.
It's definitely a dysfunctional family.
I feel like I know.
I didn't really know what like healthy family dynamics were until I started dating and got to see what that was like.
These people.
I know.
Don't matter how, Dana, don't matter how successful we get on YouTube. Our roots are, boy.
They're grounded.
They're dirty.
Man.
This dude just sitting here in his cutoff shirt. I'm like,
Yep.
So,
I got an uncle. It's not like that. Well, the house remains untouched. Hannah did agree to let some of her injured animals go to the rescue sanctuaries.
That's
Okay.
good.
Oh, that's good. At least they got some animals out.
They are in the best condition and the cleanest cages that we can get for them. And then we will be contacting the state officials on Monday morning at 8 o'clock.
First thing in the morning, we're calling in the people who can do something about this.
Yeah. Don't blame.
All right. With only 2 hours left in the day, Hannah's family and the crew pushed through to
Which
clean the
means
house.
she probably faced, I would imagine, I mean, it's going to depend on her state. She probably faced some sort of criminal because of her animal hoarding.
Like, they finally, 2 hours
And the
left in the
conditions
day,
they were
finally
in.
get to the house.
It's trash.
Trash?
This family
I can hear in the background, like she's just like bleeding over all the audio.
decided that they were going to do whatever it takes to get this house safe for their mom. And they've done that. But the reality is this house will be full very quick.
Yeah.
Like, look at this baby doll.
And like
back
they
here.
know, because I got to talk to a lot of the crew about it. They know that most of these cases, almost all of them, fail. They don't have many success stories. It's the people have to want help, even if Hoarders provides. If they situations like this can be very difficult.
It's just like covered. I don't know what kind of mold is growing on this, but
Sadness. It's sadness that's growing. It's
honestly, the amount of mold's not bad at all.
She does not think that she has a compulsive hoarding problem. She does not see anything wrong with the treatment of these animals, and she's refusing all help.
she don't see nothing wrong with none of it. Boy, oh my, she's even got the freaking popcorn tins over here.
Oh yeah, 3 years worth.
One of those last, God, dude. I remember being a kid and getting these in Christmas. I had one for like, I don't even know why I ate it. Like it sat there for
It's
so
not
long.
even good.
What?
Oh, it gets so stale and
They somehow last forever. I don't know what they're actually made out of. It's not corn. It's something else. Some other strange plastic.
Hannah's prognosis is extremely poor.
Yeah.
Probably the worst of any hoarder I've ever worked with.
She's the worst hoarder. Yeah, I believe
'Cause
that.
she
God
probably
dang.
does- she
refused
doesn't see a
all
problem.
offers of aftercare. The chickens were released from the.
Oh. So aftercare usually means they get some level of help afterwards. My mom received, I think it was like 6 months. She didn't go through all of it, but like 6 months of therapy, 6 to 12 months, I believe is what they normally offer. So yeah, she refused. She straight up refused to go to, she doesn't believe she had a problem, so she refused. So yeah, that definitely
cages
got.
what remain on the property. Okay, so she just had to let them outside.
okay. To
In
run
November
free.
2010, the state of Illinois charged Hannah with failure to provide proper shelter and veterinary care to the animals. All right, so the state got involved.
Yeah, they would have had to.
And that's it. That's all we know.
Jeez.
I don't know. That's one of those that I don't feel better after watching them. I was like, man, those
Not at all.
Wait, are
Not at
those
all.
were those
family
on
and all that. It's
YouTube? Like it looked like he was watching the episode from YouTube. What is, I don't even know if we can look at the most. When was this one? That was only a year ago. That's not as long ago as I thought it would have been. Can I scroll up, please? Because is in the first
It's
one
time once again for everyone's favorite show to make.
probably 2 years ago, and then the last
Hoarder
one.
arrested after 170.
That's a month ago. He's still okay. So this is a thing he might do every so often. That's, I didn't realize. I'm kind of surprised. You know what though? We're gonna this is probably getting a wee bit like heavy for everyone. So at this point, we're gonna go to, is it Zoo Tours? Zoo Tours. Hell yeah. I'm gonna leave a comment on the video that I watched eventually later today. I just feel obligated. Just maybe I shouldn't. It's probably not worth it. It's an old video. Even doing it on a newer video probably isn't worth it. He probably won't see it. I don't know. If they're like me, I read every goddamn comment for better or for worse. But I'm just... That's in the loop. Okay, we want to do Zoo Tours, I believe.
Manhattan.
Yep. Okay, that's it. We're going to subscribe to them. I don't know if I should bother correcting any misconceptions, like the fact that you don't get paid to go on the show. So many people think that. And then then people get angry that they think that I was paid, or they get angry that I wasn't paid, and neither of those are really applicable. I wasn't going on to it for either. I never asked for money, and nor did I expect it. I just wanted, this is the only way that I thought I could get my mother help. I was afraid of her dying in her hoard, and even any modicum of cleanliness followed by some therapy. I thought maybe if we can get it cleaned up, she won't be in any immediate health concerns. We get her some therapy, maybe things can start improving. And then my brother and I could go over there on a weekly basis to make sure she's keeping up with the cleaning, which obviously didn't happen. Not that we didn't try, it's just, yeah. So we're gonna look at some Monterey Bay Aquarium. Ooh. I know that they've done zoos from other countries too, which I'm also, because I'm like how did that go? Central Park Zoo, I watched that one. It was on my, it says members only. I watched the non-members one then. I watched that one the other day, but again, I don't use this YouTube account to watch everything, so. Daytona Aquarium. I do like aquariums. I'm a sucker for aquariums, okay? Mola? Greatest Zoo Tours, America's Greatest Reptile. Oh wait, I saw that one too. Okay, so no, I watched that. I think have I watched 3? Did you go to San Diego, my dude? I'm not seeing San Diego on here. And that's the one I want to watch. Where? Dallas World Aquarium. Ooh, so many things that I want to see. Europe's best South American exhibit. I'm sure you've been there. With all the places you have been, some of them are rankings. Zoo Tours, San Diego, please. Yeah. San Diego Zoo Tours. Hell yeah. Oh, it's a playlist. What? Wait, why is it a play? Oh, yeah, it is big. The Elephant Odyssey, Lost Forest, Monkey Trails, Tiger River, Wildlife Explorers Base Camp. We'll do African Rocks. It's been years. I think I was here in 2010. So as you can imagine, it's been a long time. What is the quality of this video? 1080p? I guess we can... Again, some things are going to be louder than others when it comes to videos. Is he not narrating? He talks now, but I don't know if he always did. His camera quality's definitely improved. Okay.
Just over a century ago, legend says it all began with the roar of a...
Okay, so his mic quality, his sound quality is drastically improved in some of the newer videos.
Lion. A local doctor heard one from a menagerie in the distance, and their next thought would eventually create what's now known as the world's most famous zoo. Hi, I'm Zach Handel, and welcome to this very special episode where Zoo Tours hits the West Coast once again, introducing for the first time the San Diego Zoo.
His music just
I'm sure you've heard good things about this place, and I'm gonna guess a majority of you have been here before. This zoological society opened back in 1916 in what was once a little city that aspired to be big things. The San Diego Zoo grew with this previously mentioned menagerie and began to expand by 1921. What also grew from here was the future of animal exhibitry. As you could guess, the park became a pioneer for building cageless exhibits. Their habitats now stretch 100 acres across Balboa Park and contain more than 3,700.
I wish I would have had way more time when I was there in 2010. I only had 3 hours to get through the zoo, so naturally, like, I hightailed it to visit as much as I could. But I'm hoping to go back to spend like a whole day
Animals,
being able to walk around leisurely.
Ever heard of creatures?
Because they have copies. Yep, there it is.
Global conservation for endangered wildlife.
They don't have the pandas anymore, though.
Marketing department are why people from every corner of the world flock towards the San Diego Zoo. I managed to make 2 visits on my trip and was even assisted on one by a great guy named Mark, who actually, if you recall, filmed the entirety of episode 50. And without him, I couldn't have done any of this. Together, we were able to cover 50% of the zoo's most vital exhibits. That's 7 separate videos that I will show you over a span of several years, beginning with the exhibit the world couldn't wait to see. Only opened in 2017, it is still the newest project unveiled by the San Diego Zoo. From the first habitat to the last. With the behind-the-scenes areas and including the tram path, this space tracks 8.5 acres, making it the largest consecutively constructed project in franchise history. The Lost Forest, though, takes the cake, being the park's largest area, but it opened in several phases. Africa Rocks didn't come from an expansion. Rather, it lies on the former outdated grounds of the Dog and Cat Canyon that had exhibits from the 1930s that were once considered to be the best in the world. However, Africa Rocks isn't a new nickname, as half of that area was already called this, though there were barely any African animals by its demise. With $68 million, the zoo revamped this area to now be composed of 20.
I don't know if it's a Zelda reference. I kind of, being that it's a zoo, I don't think so.
13 of which are brand new, that make up 6 separate venues, showing off those from the savannah to the sea. So the stage is set, and without further ado,
ooh, the cuts.
Let's rock.
Beautiful garden. There's one thing, San Diego Zoo is gorgeous, and they have also peacocks just walking around. Lostoids.
Is a portal to the mother of mankind, beginning with the sea.
They're so cute. A lot of, it's not a point that I'm going to argue with people who are just vehemently against it because they don't know any better. But as someone who's went to school working in ecology and then working in wildlife after I graduated, including working with our local zoo, which is AZA accredited, there's going to be things behind the scenes you will never see. Even with those behind the scenes tours, or things you're never going to see what a zoo does. And a lot of that stuff is conservation efforts. They might talk about it a little bit at the zoo. You might see a little bit more behind the scenes, but there's things that are not open to the public that I got to do. And I only got to do that because I was part of some of the conservation efforts for endangered species. And eventually they got some of the species that I was working with, which is kind of awesome. So a lot of people who are like, I don't go support a zoo, which is fine. You don't need to go to one. I'm not saying you have to. If you don't like it, don't go to it. But they always see it as like an animal. They think they're self-righteous because they always see it as like animal cages. And they're like, well, why can't they just do that without having a zoo? And they're like, they can't do that because habitat destruction is a real problem. Poaching, which people really apparently don't think is that much of a problem anymore, it still fucking is. It's a huge problem. Between that and habitat destruction and pollution and other environmental factors, but those are the big ones. Zoos are needed. And it's not just for displays for people's pleasure. Those are set up so you might have a little bit of a chance to know some of what's going on, because otherwise there's no way, especially back in the day before internet, there was no way of knowing this stuff. And honestly, unless you specifically know to look it up, you're not going to know unless you go to a zoo, or an aquarium or a museum will sometimes even have this information because they have extinct animals. We still have animals going to extinct, stuff that's been extinct in my lifetime. And there's a lot of zoos that have programs both not just in the zoo, but outside the zoo, including out of country, that have these programs that are going for conservation efforts to help repopulate species that are of concern or critically endangered. Look at the gharial. They have breeding programs now. They're like, oh, look at the babies. Like, they should be in the wild. It's like, they don't have their habitat. Like, they've had a lot of habitat loss and destruction, and then just numbers. Like, there's efforts now, but those efforts weren't in place for a very long time. So a lot of species are, without this intervention, would be non-existent well before we were around. And it's hard to say. It's like, yeah, they do their best. It's not going to be the same in the wild. Some of these animals can never return to the wild for various reasons. Either they're too attached to humans, or a lot of animals come in from the wild because they're injured and they would die in the wild otherwise. You can ask why they can't do this without the public. Well, the public want information is key in this factor. People need to know zoos are a way to do it, but also there's no money. All those programs, who's funding them? There's no billionaires funding them, guys. There's no billionaires that I know funding these projects out of the good of their heart. The public has to fund them. That they go to the zoo, those dollars, they raise money, they do events to raise money for these conservation efforts. Could it be spent a little bit better at some zoos, or many of them? Yeah, it could be. There are people who lead the zoos could get paid a little bit less. I can agree with the politics behind that, but zoos are needed institutions, unfortunately. And yeah, I also enjoy going to them. I don't know, maybe I'm one of those weird people who likes to read the signs and like study the behavior of the animals, being that I worked at the zoo. Yeah, maybe I'm a little biased too. Okay. I'm most definitely a little biased towards that, but I also went to school for environmental sciences with a concentration in ecology. So I know a little bit more than someone who didn't study that for a living or work in the field, for that matter. And I worked at the zoo, by the way, when I was in college. I worked at the zoo for a different reason. We were working for them, kind of teaming up a little bit for the sturgeon's sake, but that was a small section. When I actually worked at the zoo, I was just a frontline employee. I just did like sales and stuff. I didn't like get to, because a lot of times like it's extremely competitive to get an internship at the zoo. They don't pay, by the way. Well, internships don't usually pay anyway, which sucks. It's just free labor for them. However, at a zoo, I feel like it's a little more meaningful, because you're like, okay, the money, instead of me earning the money, it's going to go to save the species that I'm working with, hopefully. Best medium, yeah, consumerism and ecotourism, which is part of that, is some of the best forms of educating people about things they don't know. Like the golden toad or whatever. Like, no one would know about that. The thing is extinct from my understanding, is now extinct in the wild. They would be extinct everywhere if zoos didn't take, the chance to have their own little program to get a good population, with the intent of eventually returning them to the wild if possible. That is usually the intent, is to return them to the wild if possible. But if there's no habitat for them to go back to, then zoos are the only option of keeping that. It's like they're almost like a living relic at that point too. I don't always put it in the best words, because I can also get very heated in conversations like this, but I guess you could think of it as a necessary evil. People wouldn't be funding this otherwise. Your tax dollars might fund it a little bit, but also going to the zoo, buying things that funds the zoo, that funds these conservation efforts, because they don't have billionaires that can fund this. And then if they did, I feel like it would come with huge strings attached, let's be honest. So they rely on public support from a lot of people who don't have a lot of money still, but when a lot of people go, it helps. A lot of these things they do to raise money. There's things like concerts they do to raise money. I don't really think concerts have a place being in a zoo personally. They do them. I can't help that, obviously. I just don't think concerts I think the noise would cause a huge disruption to the animals. But maybe I'm wrong there. I just feel like noise is one thing, especially with concerts. They can be so loud. I don't think those should be in zoos. But other than that, there's a lot of things of yeah, sure. Also, I'm obsessed with coconut crabs. I want to see coconut crabs. I want to see some of these animals because I will never get the chance to see them in the wild. I'm not a multimillionaire who can just go on safaris and go places just to see things. Nor do I want to, because I want the safety of knowing that they can't get to me, because they're things that scare me, like very venomous snakes that when I lived in Florida that I came across in person. I don't want those being near me. Like rattlesnakes. And let's be all honest, like I do look at the bug stuff too, but not my favorite thing to look at. Makes my skin crawl a bit. But aquariums are my biggest fascination. Water exhibits primarily. Like if you get a dual exhibit like this, you have land and water. It's so cool if they do it well.
The first phase of the new Africa Rocks, a gorgeous, now iconic 5,000 square foot aquarium known as Cape Fynbos. Appropriately, you'll find penguins of South Africa, one of 14 penguins that prefer temperate or warmer climates. With Africa Rocks, this is the first time in 35 years the zoo has prominently displayed penguins in such a way. Supposedly, they've held off this long on having them as a way not to compete with the neighboring SeaWorld San Diego. Another reason why the world's most famous zoo probably doesn't have a true aquarium. With them, believe it or not, are 12 leopards.
I will say, SeaWorld doesn't have a great history. So they're one of the ones that's like, keep an eye on them. Because I went to SeaWorld in Florida. Yeah. And they did not, like, especially with their bigger animals like whales, obviously, there's no way to house those really ethically, especially orcas. And then, you know, putting them in shows, it's just like, yeah, maybe don't do that. And now I know in like at zoos, at least at mine, a lot of zoos have California sea lions. And you'll see a lot of times the keepers go in there and have them do tricks, and they consider it a show, even if they're not really addressing the public during that. And they're doing that because they said the sea lions get really ornery if they're not worked with, if they don't have like tasks essentially to do. Sea lions get bored and ornery and become assholes. People probably, I guess they don't know, the keepers, they sea lions, because of how they are, they're just prone to be little assholes. And also they're incredibly curious, kind of like cats are. You always call them cat puppies, but I feel like they're more like sea cats. I feel like they're a little bit more malicious. Now, harbor seals and gray seals are more like sea puppies. They're a lot more chill and lazy, whereas sea lions are like on crack and they have to constantly have shit to do, which is why the keepers will go in there and make them do stuff, because they like, it's exercise, but also it works their brain. For animals, working their brain is a lot more exhausting than working their bodies. More circus and exhibition. I agree with that. I agree with that with SeaWorld. I wish it wasn't that way, but I also, at this point, I don't know what can be done to change because they've been established for a while. And maybe if they get rid of their, I assume they don't have any more orca shows or anything. I thought they had to get rid of their whale shows, and I thought they were just left with sea lion shows, but I could be wrong because I don't really know a whole lot about that. And I also know SeaWorld wasn't the only and isn't the only thing like it. There are other aquatic parks out there that are also very problematic. One of them wasn't one of them in France? I could be wrong. I know it's in another country, and the whales have been sitting in their exhibits for like months. Their exhibits have gotten gross because it's been abandoned. And there's been animals, not just orcas either, other animals that are so large that have been able to move them. You'd think someone would move in to do something with them, but they can't. I don't think also the animals that are there can go to the wild because of health issues and other things. They've never learned to this. They can't just go to the wild either. They have to do something with them. But who the hell can house an orca ethically, you know? But I mean, their current exhibits are extremely unethical. So like, I honestly feel like an active SeaWorld would be better than an abandoned one for a whale at this point, if they don't know anything else, because they can't just be released to the wild. but I don't know. A lot of people are just like released in the wild, don't realize that most of those animals released in the wild would just die because they don't know any better. Can't just do that. It does take a lot of prep, and it's not a short period of time. Like rehab is a thing too. Like there's a lot more to it. It's not black and white.
From SeaWorld. But ironically, they are found along the coast of the United States and not South Africa.
That's what I want to know. How do they transport whales? Because I see what they do to transport really large, like African crocodiles. They put them in giant boxes, which is wild. What the hell do they do to transport whales and like other large aquatic wildlife? Because like some, they get young and then have in the aquarium for many years or their lifetimes. But how do you transport dolphins? Well, I guess we know. I've seen a little bit how some people transport dolphins, at least from like one area to another, but not like state to state or country to country. Especially if it has to be airborne in any way. How the fuck? How do you get the whale out of the enclosure? Like, I've seen aquariums that do behind the scenes videos and stuff for on different streaming platforms, how they get them to comply with medical exams, and that's really cool. But like moving them is a big deal. Those are big animals. I have a really annoying dent in my nail. Cranes and slings. Yeah, I feel like that would be the way to do it, or possibly the only way to do it. Even then, what if they're like, do they have to be sedated? Do they have to be bribed? Like with food? Is that even going to be helpful at that point? These are the questions that keep me up at night. My dog. Hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Are you telling me you have to go potty? Yep, that's exactly what you're coming in here for. I have to probably take a 5-minute break so I can go let my dog out because she's gotta go potty. And yeah, you're wiggling your tail. I have a feeling you want to go play out in the snow. That's what you want to do. You want to frolic in the snow and eat it. That's what she really wants, because we had a lot of snowfall the other day, which the news just didn't think. They're like, oh, you get half an inch of snow, and that'll be it. Meanwhile, we're getting like, it was bad. Our roads still aren't good today. We got several inches. So I'm gonna let her run, and you're gonna have a crazy time out there. We have a lot of stray cats around here, so we keep seeing little paw prints everywhere in the snow, and I'm like, oh, it's so cute. I feel bad that they're strays, but seeing those little bean prints, like, God, so cute. Of the boys, the dolphin. I forgot about that. I'm trying to remember, like, I don't remember much about that episode. Damn. Because doesn't the dolphin, like, die horribly? Oh, wait, or are we talking? Yeah, because you're talking about, what's his face? Why can I not remember anyone's names in the show? The Deep. I was like, what the fuck is his name? Yeah, kidnapping one. Yeah, but he also, like, was really into it with an octopus, so I mean, most of the characters and the boys are deeply flawed. Be curious where they're gonna go with this because it is the last season, I'm pretty sure. I don't know when that comes out, probably not till much later, but curious to see how that last season goes. Yep. That's what it was! The dolphin went through the windshield. I forgot about that. I was like, I knew it like died in like a really brutal way, but I couldn't really remember. The boys hits a lot of like different things in the nose, so sometimes it can be a wee hard to watch. All right, I'm gonna go let her out and fix this little hangnail of mine because it's annoying me. I'll be back in like 5-ish minutes. I don't know. It really depends how long my dog takes. I can't rush her. I can't rush her potty breaks. So I'll be back. I'm gonna just take a break. I'm gonna run a 3-minute ad. So hopefully it disables ads when I come back so no one has to watch them, but I don't really know. Well, it'll run it for Twitch. I don't think it's gonna run it for YouTube. I don't really control that. So I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. I'm back. Sorry about the wait. My puppo took a bit, but also while she was taking a bit, I decided to pull out some leftovers. And I whipped up some, I took an extra little bit just to whip up some quick spicy mayo, which is really, really quick to, I'm gonna put this in the microwave a little too long, but we'll see, we'll see. I definitely I made too much spicy mayo. A little bit too much. Might be finding out something later in my neighborhood. There were some cop car, like, I don't know about cop, a lot of emergency vehicles went down my street. About 5. It could be nothing, because sometimes they'll just like pull someone over using 5 different cop cars. I have had it happen to me. And then they don't tell you why they pulled you over, which is great, because they just like come up to the car and they're like, oh. And I'm like, what were you expecting? And then they just don't answer. And it's like, because they weren't expecting what they saw for whatever fucking reason, you know? It was like, nothing's wrong. Everything's up to date. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. So I would love to know why I got pulled over. But, you know, sometimes it'll never happen. You'll never know. Because sometimes they're just having a bad day.
No, they don't harm one another because they do
It's
share
not
the
excusable
same
for how
diet.
they treat people, though.
Their underwater section features 85 feet of glass, boasting a 13-foot deep, 200,000-gallon saltwater pool that artificially produces waves. It's also what I consider to be the greatest spot in the entire park to just sit down, relax, and enjoy.
That's
the
beautiful.
view. But Cape Findless,
I will say one of my favorite things to see in zoos, which is kind of rare, are gharials. And if you don't know what Indian gars are, a critically endangered species in Nepal. And they the males get these, they have very long snouts, and they're like crocodiles, but they're much smaller, thinner. They're not really small, they get fucking big. But for the males get these big bulbous things at the end. They're like just a knob on the end of their nose. Everyone's in here. My dog and both my cats have decided to infiltrate my office. Can you guys not do chaos? Can you just be calm?
does not end there, as the path takes you outside to show you its remaining space. In fact, that was only 50% of it. Outside,
50
there
or
are
15?
2 more underwater viewing windows and a panoramic view towards the very end, finishing off its impressive stretch of 170 feet.
It's like a dwarf cayman.
Venue number 2, the West African Forest. But before we go to that, it's worth mentioning between this and the last region is a small cafe rest stop.
I used a lot of gochujang in the spicy mayo.
But fun fact, according to the original plans, instead here would have been the spot for an aye nocturnal house. If only.
Yeah.
Like Cape Findless, West Africa is only one exhibit.
I feel like eyes are another thing that's hard to, like, rare to see in zoos, that and bush babies. The first time I saw an eye was at Cleveland Zoo. Might be the only time I ever saw one. I lost my shit seeing it. It was so cool. I was quiet because it's that nocturnal habitat. It's red. You don't take out phones. It's wild how many people don't read that all over the walls. The only thing wrong I did was trip, but that's because I have really poor coordination, especially when my eyesight has been limited severely. So I try to now, if I know I'm going to a nocturnal place, I make sure if I'm usually with someone, to hold on to them, because I have a tendency to lose my coordination and like trip over every little thing. So I do that now, so I don't trip and make a fool of myself. But eyes are, I know some people think they're ugly. I think they're really cute. I love eyes. They're so cool. I got to see one at Cleveland Zoo because they have it all dark and red in there, so you kind of see it. You can see it moving around. I was so excited. Oh, because my new phone has dark mode on it, so like some people pull out flash, just like because it has dark mode on it, I can just pull it out. I was able to actually see the eye because it alters it a little bit. It's like, yes, you can night mode for the fucking win. Phones these days have gotten so good. I'm really lucky. I'm so glad I signed up when I did, because I got my phone for free and it was great. And it's one of the newest Google phones. Like, it's wild when places are running deals and they're like, we'll buy you out of your current contract and give you and replace your current phone if you trade it in with a brand new one that's way better in every way.
Smaller but still impressive display for the West African dwarf crocodile and several Madagascar native turtles. However, what's also part of this area,
And I pay less per month because I used to go through Verizon and they apparently overcharged up the fucking wazoo.
is the centerpiece behind this rock.
Extremely pretty waterfall. Verizon sucks. Yeah, they do. My brother still goes with them, but because he got grandfathered into a program for a much better deal, but I still pay less and get better coverage. I kept having issues every time my phone bill would go to renew because on automatic payments. Every time it would go to renew, I would have 2 days without phone service. And they were like, yeah, that just happens sometimes, but it was happening a lot. It was happening almost every other month, and it was getting really annoying because, like, the only thing I could do is if someone called me, I could answer it. I couldn't send any calls or texts out. It'd be really annoying. And it's free until like May. Damn, that's nice. That's a good deal. I've heard not great things about Spectrum from my neck of the woods, but I'm with AT&T and I pay like $40. I didn't pay for the first 2 months because you do it like when I got my phone, I signed up, and also I got traded my old phone for a new phone to be with AT&T for a year. I get more and I pay less. I pay less than I would have at Verizon, but I get way more, including an upgraded phone. Plus, we had like $400 in gift cards given to us because when we signed up was like a huge promotional deal, and we did that. I bought my VR headset and my phone, the phone screen to protect it, and the outer casing. I got all that with gift cards. I got all of that with gift cards. The fact that I got a VR headset with gift cards for free and a free phone by signing up with them is a good fucking deal. I want to say it's been almost a year too, and I've had no issues. Our internet is great. We pay less for internet. I go through them for my phone as well because I used to have a separate internet provider than phone, and it's worked out for us, thankfully. I just hope it keeps doing it. And we're lucky enough that like not everyone, unfortunately my brother doesn't like his internet, but he doesn't have other options. He literally has one option for the area, and that's all. He doesn't have options for AT&T. They don't have stuff out there for it yet. We're on fiber cable, so being on fiber means you get extremely high-speed internet, which has really been nice. And that's what my brother wants, but they don't have it in the area.
Welcome to Rady Falls, considered to be the heart of the San Diego Zoo. Donated by philanthropist Ernest Rady with a generous amount of $10 million. It was built with the intention for people all over the park to come and congregate, with the vision that millions of pictures would be taken here. Its other
When I was little, for one of my birthdays, I think it was with 2 birthdays, I donated my birthday money to the zoo, and they put my name on a plaque. Guys, it wasn't much money. It was maybe $200, but because I did it, and I did it for a specific animal that I liked, because I loved red-ruffed lemurs. I was really into them, you see, and I wanted to go to the zoo for my birthday, put my name on a fucking plaque and put it up there. It was so cute. I'm like, you literally put like a 10-year-old's name. I was like 10 and they did that. They put my fucking name etched in a plaque for this little 10-year-old who donated her birthday money to go towards the lemurs. And when I checked it, Years later, my name was still there. My name was still there. It was like almost like shedded tears. Like, that's so sweet. And I'm like, I can't be the only one. Like, I know other people donate just money to them for various reasons, but they put my name up there, and I'm like, why? I'm like, that's really sweet, but why? My mom did used to work for the zoo for a while, honestly, but I don't remember if she was working for them at that point in time. But they still did it. It was so nice. They were really nice. If you haven't drank water in a while, this is your reminder to drink water, hydrate. It's important. It's important for all of your body functions that you drink plenty of water. And I do mean it. Coffee, as good as it is, does not count as hydration. It can be good to substitute if you just don't feel like having water for an hour or so. I've seen people chug coffee though when they're working out. That's fucking wild. Why would you have coffee when you're sweating? Even if you don't sweat that much while working out, still don't drink. I wouldn't even drink pop. I would say if you really have to, a sports drink if you won't drink water, or body armor, which is actually kind of good for you, minus, you know, all the sugar in it. But just don't. I love coffee, but it does not count as hydration, guys. It does not count as hydration. Neither does pop. Pop does not count as hydration. It's full of sugar and stuff. People need to make sure they drink enough water. If you can. I know there's some people out there who struggle with it for various different reasons. I don't like drinking water unless it's like extreme. It has to be ice water for me, right? I won't, even in winter, I don't care. It's ice water. It's a really, I know it's one of those special things. It's like having certain food, like for me, for textures, like I will only have ice water if it's lukewarm or hot. I can't. It's like repulsive to me. Like I don't want it anywhere near my lips. Does Celsius? What Celsius count? What is Celsius? Is that like a carbonated water maybe? I honestly don't know what it is. Like if it's just like a smart water or like an electrolyte water, like energy drink, if it's gonna have caffeine in it, it doesn't count. If it has caffeine in it, it doesn't count. Or all that other stuff, I wouldn't count an energy drink. Like if you're saying like Body Armor or Powerade, those technically would count. They have, you know, I mean, they're not identical. I wouldn't recommend Gatorade or Powerade, you know, while you're working out necessarily. They don't make me feel very good, but Body Armor is similar but better for you without all those dyes and everything in it. I prefer Body Armor. I actually feel hydrated when I drink it. The problem is Body Armor's not cheap. I'll be the first person to admit it. I wish it was cheaper. I tried the powdered Body Armor, by the way, because that's a thing now. You can take it and mix it in like 24 ounces or something like that. It's not good. I had only one flavor, and it was the same flavor that I like for the like tropical punch. I love tropical punch. I got that in the powdered form. It tastes like shit. It's horrible. I drank one and I'm like, oh, this is like, and powderable. Gave some to my husband and he's like, nope. We're just gonna end up having that, but like, see, it's gonna end up going in the trash probably, because I don't know if I can palate that. Like, yeah, it's probably still good for you, but with the pre-workout, but it's not water for sure. See, a lot of people do pre-workout and post-workout stuff. I don't do any of that stuff anymore because I tended to just get bloated from it and not feel very good. So I've never done pre-workout, but for if I consider my pre-workout, it's literally just eating a little bit, like a banana and maybe some nuts, and then like literally it'd usually be like a big scoop of peanut butter, a banana, and then a bunch of water, and then I'd be going to the gym. And when I get back, like I used to do protein powders, but I just didn't feel like that did much of anything. So I just try to have a meal, like even if it's a small meal, try to have something that's like healthy, like a banana with some peanut butter on the slices, or sorry, an apple with peanut butter and slices, or like a banana, just something that's a bit healthier, or even like a salad if I'm looking for a full meal, like a salad with like chicken and egg in it, just to get like enough protein, but like not just going and eating cookies or something, which, you know, sometimes I do because, you know, sometimes I just want a goddamn cookie. Sometimes I don't want healthy, but like I know also some people's options are very limited. I'm forced into eating certain things because of all my food allergies and problems, which is, like I say, I'm forced into being healthy. But I also legit love fruit. I love fruit. I like vegetables, but some vegetables are more off-putting. Like, I really don't like cauliflower. I like cauliflower crusted pizza. I really don't like cauliflower, though. I love broccoli if it's baked. It has to be baked, or if it's raw, it has to be dipped in something, because if it's baked, it doesn't need much in it, but I don't like steamed broccoli. I don't know why. It doesn't have a crunch anymore, and I hate it when it's wet. If it's baked, it's dry and crunchy. If it's raw, it's crunchy and it's great. If it's steamed, I feel like all the flavor of the broccoli that's bad comes out, and it's just like eating. It's a disaster texture wise for me, and I don't care how it's seasoned. I won't touch it because, like, I try and it's like, nope, that ain't working for me. There are some things I can power through that have bad textures, but that's not one of them, because it comes with a taste that is like when it's steamed that I dislike greatly. Calories, yeah. Calories, like protein is important. Getting a balanced diet, honestly, is probably hard for a lot of people, a lot of Americans especially, because of like the work ethic here too, especially, is really detrimental. But to wanting to eat healthy, I don't know how people like do everything, right? I have chronic illness, and I think like just doing basic tasks sometimes is incredibly hard. Even editing a video that I've already done, it's like can be extremely hard, just because doing 5 minutes of it, it's just like, not that I don't want to, it's just like it wears me out. How do people go to work for 8+ hours, 5 days a week, find time to do that, grocery shop, clean their house, exercise, make their meals, and then still have a life at all on top of that? How do you do that? I really don't think that's feasible, because back in the day, if you had a significant other, it's just like, oh yeah, they're expected that they don't work, so they're taking care of household stuff and like the lawn and stuff. Like, that's a lot of work for one person to do. But when 2 people in the household are working, how do you manage that? Like, I just don't think, it's like there's a lot flawed. It's like, no wonder people are stressed and not eating healthy, because they're stressed. They want to eat stuff that's going to comfort them, but also they don't have time to prep healthy food. And I'm a person who will sit there and eat and have a whole thing of hummus and just eat baby carrots with like, or other vegetables, and just dip it in hummus. I don't think a lot of people enjoy doing that though, and I don't blame them. Carrots just happen to be one of my favorite vegetables. So also probably my dog's favorite food, honestly. She loves carrots. You've been managing most of yours. Well, that's it. I mean, it's a good thing to learn, is how to manage your like not just calories, but your diet in general. Yeah. Enjoying cooking helps. Yeah, I love cooking. I just don't have energy for it a lot. Sometimes I do very small meals, or I'll just like get a salad at one of my favorite places. That does like more clean food that also is reliably gluten-free. But then at the same time, like now once a month we're going up to Michigan to a special bakery to get baked goods, and none of that. It doesn't matter that it's gluten-free or that it's like doesn't have dyes in it, because yeah, it doesn't have a lot of artificial, it doesn't have any artificial shit in it. That's great. Baked goods like that still aren't healthy. Eating 2 donuts is not healthy for you, So I was just like, yeah, but I'm, I go up there because once in a while, once a month, I'm like, I'm gonna get myself some fucking treats. I'm a binge this day. I'm gonna spend too much money and I'm a binge. And but yeah. And then as far as that, yeah, fried rice is really easy to make and super good. I've discovered washing your rice, you take a strainer, put them in the tiny strainer, and then put that strainer in a bowl, run water over it so the rice is submerged, scrub it, and then take the strainer out and dump the water, rinse the rice a bit, and then rinse and repeat 2 or 3 times. And then the rice will be nice and like kind of dry for you. It'll be fully cooked. It'll kind of be like perfect. And I know a lot of people are like, you have to have the rice be cold, like put it in the fridge overnight and then use it for fried rice. If you wash it enough, I don't have any problems with it. It doesn't get mushy at all. It never gets mushy for me if I do that. along with cooling the rice before making the fried rice. Yeah, people say like it wants to be cold. I cooled mine on the counter for an hour, about an hour after it was done cooking. I cooled it for an hour and then I put it in and then I started making the fried rice. So like, but a lot of people they say it like if it's very cold, it helps make the starch resistant on a dietary angle. So yeah, that's just how, I mean, I have made it with cold rice before, but I get annoyed because cold rice sticks a lot more. It's hard to like fucking get it all out. You want it to be like a good, you don't want chunks of rice, and I feel like cold rice does that if you do it overnight.
Live at the bottom of the pool. The Rady Falls is 65 feet high, making it around 7 stories, and is dubbed by the
Holy
zoo
shit.
as the largest waterfall in the city.
Jesus.
Madagascar.
I'm also one of those people who really enjoys overnight oats. If you've ever had the brand, I think it might literally just be called overnight oats. It's in a little plastic bottle. You can just add milk or water. I've never added water. I've always added soy milk or almond milk to it. You shake it up, you put it in the fridge the night before that you want to eat it. Super good. Now they are, and I have made overnight oats myself. It's just when I'm not feeling good, and if I can kind of predict how I'm going to feel if I know I'm feeling terrible, I'll make those the night before, so I have them for the next day. So I have something very easy. I can literally grab it out of the fridge and drink it, and it's great. And I have made them myself though. I've actually meal prepped for overnight oats before. Oh my god, it is just chia seeds. I have to have chia seeds in mine because if I don't, it's just not the same. And you have to have them overnight because you want it to like soak up everything. It's so good. I made my own overnight oats. I don't even add sugar to them. I just add a little bit of honey or maple syrup. And I use real like organic maple syrup because I've had it once and I can't ever go back. It's so good. It's such a difference from the cheap shit. And I know it's more expensive by quite a bit, but the difference, oh fuck, the texture, the taste difference, it doesn't taste like corn syrup, guys. But I will say most of the time I use honey because I've had access to a lot of free honey because of having a father-in-law who keeps or used to keep beehives, so they have a ton of honey. And yeah, so getting a bunch of free honey and doing that's like hell yeah. Also tastes really cool because 100% real honey, and you can taste the different flowers or for whatever trees it was near. They all have different flavors, colors, and textures. The honey, it's wild. But yeah, overnight oats are one of my favorite meals to have in the morning. And I usually I'll like prep it, like the whole thing will be prepped in one bowl and all the dry ingredients that I need just for toppings will go in a different bowl. Usually it's fruit, like I'll put some berries or something on top or and sometimes like some granola or something just to get a bit of a crunch, just so it's not all just mush. I need to have that little bit of like texture difference because I like things that crunch, right? But that's definitely one of my favorite meals to have is overnight oats. It's great to go in the car too if you just have to have that little bottle.
Africa's most famous island. It begins a single serpent winding pathway without any interruptions and starts this unusual looking span of meshed exhibits that stretch all the way into the next section, appearing as if they're all connected and even holding each other up. All of the enclosures from here to that point have ground levels that are nearly elevated to your eye line. The first animal isn't even native to the 8th continent at all. The fearless honey badger. At only around 3 feet, they're still known to be the bravest and fiercest creature on Earth. You may have heard that they were taken off display at the zoo. Well, rumor has it that they kept escaping and obviously the exhibit needed some fixing. Honey badgers are native to all of Africa.
They kept escaping? Oh no!
Africa, but the northern regions, and even Southwest Asia. So why place them in Madagascar? Well, according to the original plans, they were supposed to be further down in a more appropriate area. Obviously, if you couldn't tell, I didn't film them because, even though I'm not complaining, the mesh and the angle of the design make it difficult to see the animals. Next up are 2 enclosures for...
I'm assuming they still have this, but I'm not 100% sure. When I went to San Diego Zoo, when I was in high school in 2010. Because I placed second in regionals, and then I went to states and I placed second, and I missed first by a fucking half point. A half point cost me first place in state. My teacher almost like, she was gonna say something, but they didn't want to start anything just because the person who did one, who placed a half point ahead of me, didn't do everything themselves because they had a broken arm and that was their dominant hand. So the person who took the test was their teacher, and the teacher was supposed to just write down anything the kid said. Like, the teacher would just write down exactly. But my teacher at the time, and maybe it could just be that, you know, it's there, like the thoughts there is like, what if he said something and she wrote something else? She wrote the correct response down instead. What if that's what happened? I made one mistake. One mistake caused me a half point. And like, they got a perfect grade. And that's why I was like, well, they may have actually just like studied like I did. That's the thing. They could have just worked really hard and their teacher did follow the rules. But maybe, we'll never know. I'll always have the thought in my mind, but it didn't matter because I still placed second. I still got to go to nationals and go to San Diego. I was actually in Los Angeles, but in Anaheim specifically for a convention. But they allowed us to choose so many for like, because my school paid for it because I didn't have the money, and they originally weren't going to, but they never had a student get this far. They never had a student get past regionals, because the best they had to place was like fourth in regionals, which is what I did the year prior. And then I got second. And because of that, the student council like knew, and they knew I had like, I'm a quiet kid, and they're like, we're gonna make sure she can go to nationals and represent, because it's probably never gonna happen again. And I was like, that's fucking cute and so nice, like, and I saved up money from doing mowing lawns and stuff and babysitting, and I had some money, so we're like, we're gonna take the bus to San Diego Zoo. And they have double-decker buses at that zoo, by the way, and you can just get on them. It'll take you through certain paths. I assume they still have them. I'm not sure. Again, this was 2010, but they do. That's wild. They had peacocks through all the zoo. I didn't know peacocks were allowed to like roam around where people are. It's the first time I've ever experienced it. I have experienced it since then, because like, I got more of a taste for zoos after San Diego, and I'm like, I need to see more, because I had not been to many at that point. And yeah, I just kind of, also my obsession with okapis. I got to see an okapi, and I bought myself a stuffed little okapi, which I never really buy myself shit. It was like, I saw one and I'm like, I need a commemorative thing that says I saw an okapi, because I don't think I got a picture because I had a shit phone at the time that didn't really do pictures. And then I had a camera, but then I went to go get a picture of it, and I suck at taking pictures. Or at least I did at the time, so I didn't even get the okapi. Hi. I already gave you your food. Or you're outside, and I think you were fed. I think you're conning me for more food. You're conning. She's conning me to get more food, because she knows I've made the mistake before, so sometimes our animals get double fed, and we don't. We got them all to a good weight right now, and we want to keep it that way. No one's overweight, and I don't think anyone's underweight right now. It looks like everyone's healthy, and that's what we're striving to keep, is order in this house. Because we were told for a while our dog was too fat, our one cat was too fat. Cetra's always been a normal weight, from what we've been told. But then Izatar got too skinny because of his thyroid thing, and then we got his thyroid more under control, and he was still super skinny, so we had to compensate to feed more for him. And then we had to watch him because Cetra was trying to eat all that food, and he needs to maintain his weight, not gain it. And then we finally got Lana to meet her weight goal. So the vet was very happy about that, because you did it. You got to a good weight, pup. Because I didn't realize it doesn't matter. Like, unless they're getting an immense amount of exercise, the amount we were feeding her was way too much for a dog that, you know, isn't going for 20-mile mushes. And we were just feeding her what the bag said. And they're like, yeah, that's not appropriate for her. It doesn't apply to a lot of like breeds, because they're not meant to eat that much food unless they're extremely active To be fair, she's a cattle dog, but that doesn't, she's kind of lazy for a cattle dog. She's smart as a dickens. You are, you're so smart. You're very smart, and you like learning, but she's lazy. I mean, she does like to play. She loves to play. She loves fetch, and she loves going for WALKs, because I can't say it because I'll trigger her. I know. And she loves to play out in the snow, but God forbid it's summer, and then she takes one look outside. She goes outside for 2 minutes. It's like, I want back. I don't want to go out there. And it's like, we're going for WALK, and she's like, nope, I'm gonna go lay in the neighbor's yard and not move.
The island's most iconic
And those will be like
inhabitants,
on 79-degree
the
days, where are fairly nice.
There's ringtails, red collar.
Are you getting triggered by what's on the screen? You are. Go lay down. You shouldn't be getting jealous over lemurs. Don't give me that face. Go lay down. She gets really worked up if I watch animal videos, and I really don't want her getting worked up right now. Because my husband is sleeping. He's taking a nap.
Red ruff, the rare blue-eyed black lemur, and the cockerel sheepfoca, an animal that can cover 40 feet from just one leap from the air. Unfortunately, like the badger and the next stop, the animals didn't show themselves enough for me to film. Nearly identical to the honey badger stage, Africa Rocks uses fusas, the island's most
You go have a nice Friday, okay? Have a good weekend.
prominent carnivore to close out the third leg of this tour. The acacia woodlands refers to the acacia tree, one of the most commonly recognized flora on the African plains. The exhibit tree is very similar to Madagascar, and too has 4 enclosures. The first one, the vervet monkey, one of the few woodland/shrubland primates, and considered to be one of the most intelligent but mischievous creatures on the savanna. On the left side of the winding path is a gorgeous, nearly quarter-acre walk-through aviary. Unfortunately, and of course on the weekend that I visit, all aviaries throughout the park were closed from public access.
Oh no.
However, if you'd like to see it, I suggest going to the link in the description to watch an amazing POV perspective of the Africa Rocks. Past the monkeys once more is what's intentionally meant to be a prey living next to its predator. The acacia woodlands headliner, the leopard. However, this is not of the African variety, rather the Amur leopard of Russia. But because African leopards are so rare in the US, it's not uncommon for zoos to display Amurs in their savanna collections. After all, it shouldn't matter, as they are one of the most critically endangered animals around, having only a wild population of nearly 100 individuals.
That's it?
In Africa Rocks, the one that garners the attention the most is Mystique, a regal black leopard. Like many mammals, they can experience melanism as a result of a genetic mutation. Those with this change were once thought to be a separate species. By some, it's actually considered to be an advantage in natural selection, as the leopard can blend in well with the dense forest. Other than Mystique, perhaps the other special thing about this habitat is the chute transfer placed up front and in the middle that's built into the rock that connects the two exhibits. This residency's largest venue, considered to be the roofs of Africa, the Ethiopian highlands formed from heavy volcanic activity, creating towering peaks of grassy plateaus, rich valleys, and unsurprisingly, deserts. Only around 20 mammals call these hills their home, and that includes the gelada, a close cousin to the baboon, but they are in fact the only surviving member of their genus, which translates from the Greek root words beast ape. They're restricted to live on these windy hills and survive on grass blades and stems. Their silky mane, red, hourglass patch on their chest gives a defining stage presence. When it comes to males, the one with the most colorful chest usually gets the girl. Still, this mountain monkey lives in a matriarchal society. Family units join to form bands that range in numbers up to 350 animals. As for zoos, consider yourself lucky if you ever come across one of these, because in the United States, the only other zoo to display them is at the Bronx. As you probably saw, they're not alone. The band's horn section, the Nubian ibex. The only ibex adapted to life in hot, arid regions, dealing with harsh sunlight from Northeast Africa and Saudi Arabia. They too live on steep, mountainous terrain, but are perfectly capable of making their way up and down the cliffs with ease. They prefer this hostile environment as a way to avoid predators, but if defense is needed, males grow these impressive horns that get up to 4 feet long. And much like the colors of the gelada, their horns are used to impress females. While they and the gelada have somewhat similar environments, and though some do live in the same country, I don't believe the two cross paths in the wild very often, but they do seem to get along.
How much more longer? Rocks. I have to pick this up another time because I'm starting to get ice pick headaches, which is something that happens once in a while, especially when I have a little bit too much screen time. It's only almost been 4 hours of screen time, so I want to make sure it doesn't get out of control and turn into anything nasty. So I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. I hope everyone's had kind of a chill time, because that's kind of the vibes I feel like I was fostering today, was just kind of relax. I have my anniversary stream next week on Thursday. I will obviously be streaming on Tuesday on my normal day. It's also when I believe I'm doing my K-pop learning to dance stream. We'll see how well that goes. Hopefully my things arrive in time so I don't have to wear this bulky headset, otherwise dancing will be hard. But I will make it work regardless. Guys, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you Tuesday. Bye.